wide. Unbelievable. Great playing. We're going. I like the aggression. Let me drop the great car. You can go tell all those guys up there they can suck it.
What we're about to do is not a good idea.
All good. What is he doing? You've got to be kidding me.
Half the pack is flying apart.
It's so nice to see at the line.
Oh, pack of cars come piling in as well.
Come. Coming white.
Hello, come back on him.
That was incredible.
Dude, nobody better. Nobody. Hell yeah, guys.
You know, if you were with me on Sunday night or Saturday night, one or the other, and I told you like everything shut down and I had to fix it while the opening was going, it happened again with my headphones. So we are off to just a great start tonight. But all the technical stuff put aside, welcome on in to the penultimate episode of NWP for the year. Tons to talk about tonight, from Martinsville to Phoenix and everything in between. But let's get our full panel in here. Stage right on my end, I think left maybe on there, I don't know. Is Danny B?
Hello.
Danny, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. The stream's already going better than some other NASCAR streams I've seen today.
We'll talk about that later. And Eric enters in the stage other side of me. Eric, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing fantastic. We've returned the candy from Groovy Hollow. Appreciate everyone who supported the stream last night. So I'm doing good this week. Just ready to rock and roll and head to Phoenix first thing in the morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Awesomeness. Eric's going to Phoenix. I just bought tickets to Tennessee, Oklahoma on Saturday. Going to be a good time for everybody.
And then, you know what? First off weekend, I'm going to tailgate. Well, let's start off talking about, I guess, the man of the hour or of the week, or at least half the week. William Byron wins in a walk-off fashion, getting himself qualified for the Final Four at Phoenix. Danny, what do you think of old Willie B out-dueling Ryan Blaney at the end of the race there to get himself through?
I liked it. He finally seems like, okay, William Byron is stepping up to be the NASCAR 25 cover game person that we have promoted him to be. He is stepping up to be more than just a Daytona 500 winner. He is about to contend for a championship. And ultimately, in a year where I kind of doubted Hendrick to get even one driver in the championship four, they managed to get two. Kyle Larson and William Byron make it in only two JGR cars. No Penske cars. Make it the first time in the next gen era where we will not see Team Penske win a championship.
No yellow cars this time around to worry about. No, really impressive from William Byron to kind of echo what Danny said. It was a near perfect weekend. I mean, he set the fastest lap in qualifying. He led the most laps, excuse me, swept the stages, earned the Xfinity fastest lap, and got the win. Max points, max clutch to beat Ryan Blaney. Long run Ryan Blaney at his own game late in this race was shocking, frankly. Team Penske's prowess at the short, flat ovals has been nearly unmatched the past couple of seasons. William Byron, with his back up against the wall, not only matched, he exceeded the 12 car. I was surprised, but good for William Byron. He's been on the verge of breaking out into true stardom. 3 straight championship fours, getting there in dramatic fashion this time around. He may be knocking on that door sooner than we realize.
I believe he was third in the last 2 that he's been in, right? He finished third both years.
Sounds about right. I actually don't know.
So,
but the fact that he was able to basically just, it was complete domination on every single, way you look at it. It wasn't like he was leading the entire way. It wasn't like that 2022 race we were at where it was like, nobody's going to pass. As long as you just get a good restart, you're fine. No, like he was buried in the pack and then climbed back up through. It was an actual Martinsville race, in my opinion. And then I got to say, good job to Goodyear again, because they just keep taking steps with these tires. And I had said it on Sunday. I'm like, this to me felt like Martinsville. This was Martinsville. This was not, just wait 80 laps for him to fall off a cliff. Tires mattered, but not to the point that it was, like Bristol. It was Martinsville. It was like Denny kind of said it right. It was kind of like watching some of those races from 10, 15 years ago where you finally, can do something as a driver if you're better on the long run or the short run or whatnot. And Byron is best at pretty much everything.
I felt like the cars, to me, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like they look faster for some reason. I feel like they look like they had more grip, more control going through the turns. I don't know. Maybe I've just been used to some snoozer Martinsville races, but I felt like it was a really great Martinsville race for a change.
It was nice to see close to 2 lanes. I thought it was interesting how drivers would kind of, arc the corner differently to get a run. I mean, that's part of how William Byron was able to get that run on Blaney to make the winning pass. But they could pass. Brian Blaney went from 31st to 1st in like the first half of the race. And most of that was legitimately picking guys off one at a time. To your point earlier, Jared, on Byron, no, he didn't necessarily dominate the entire race, because I thought for a moment Rudy Fugle cost him. When they chose not to flip the stage at the end of stage 2, they stayed out when Blaney, Logano, and others pit. They took the stage when you're not racing for stage points at that point. I was a little surprised. Maybe they thought tires would matter that much. I'm not sure. They weren't going to be at that great of a tire deficit. But when they gave Ryan Blaney essentially the lead, clean air, I wasn't sure they'd ever get it back. So the fact that they did was even more impressive.
Well, and I'll ask the question to both of you. Was this the best race William Byron has ever run in his career?
Probably. I think it's the most laps he's led. I mean, I'm trying to think. Yeah. He's run some good. I mean, he ran great I would have said Darlington this spring was maybe the best race he's run, but he lost that one to Ryan Blaney and then Denny Hamlin at the very end.
I'd put it up there from start to finish, his best one. Yeah.
I'm with you on it. I mean, I don't want to make the show boring and we all just agree on the same thing, but I was thoroughly impressed that team Byron on all levels, they took it to another level. How
many laps did he lead? Didn't he win Martinsville last year? Wasn't he in the Ruby Red car? How many laps did he lead in that race? Because I know Hendrick dominated that race, but I don't know.
Not as many as this. Did. I think this was the most laps he's ever.
Yeah, I'll give it to him. Considering the circumstances surrounding this one too, I think this has to jump to the top of the list. This reminded me. It was more dominant, I think, but it reminded me of Christopher Bell winning this race in 2022, where it was like, oh, is this Bell's coming out party? What a clutch victory. Blaney in 2023, I think it was it led to his first career championship and a really solid 2+ year run now. So yeah, something about this fall Martinsville race the last few years, it's created narratives, it's created heroes to some degree. And so I'm glad we got a good race and William Byron was able to stake his claim.
Well, and Danny talked about it earlier too, the 2 Hendrick cars in there. So Kyle Larson is able to basically just outclass Christopher Bell all day long. I mean, it always seemed like the 5 was a step or 2 ahead of the 20 all day. He got the stage point advantage early on, which got him that buffer. And then he basically just kept it like whether the 20 was ahead of him or behind him, 2 to 3 positions, and he was always in view at any point.
Yeah, no, Kyle Larson's been better than Christopher Bell consistently at Martinsville. I know I referenced Bell's 2022 victory, but Bell has been miss more than hit at Martinsville. I mean, last year in this race, it was a miss and it cost him. Kind of the same story this year. So, he had a top 10 car, finished inside the top 10, but Larson was top 5. And it just, I think the difference at the end was only 6 or 7 points. So it wasn't a huge difference, but no, you're right. Larson controlled that matchup from start to finish, which was, I think, not as impressive as Byron, but still very impressive. He was able to do that.
and we talked about the good end of it. And I kind of want to pose this question. Maybe a little hyperbolic, but to me, I think Team Penske missed a huge opportunity with the idea that there's going to be a rotating finale soon. And yeah, I know Blaney's good at Homestead, but it's going to, it's not going to be at one spot that you can always bank on. They're still pretty damn good at Phoenix. There's nothing to say they're not going to show out this coming weekend at Phoenix. And there's the 3 coming formats that could possibly be happening that we'll talk about later. Do not maybe lend to a one race performance meaning as much as it does now for the season finale too. Was this a generational missed opportunity for Team Penske?
I don't know if I'd go that far because they did win the last. If they hadn't won the last 3 championships, I would say, yeah, sure. But like in the era of next gen Phoenix winner take all finales, they're 3 for 4. Like at the end of the day, where they've won 3 of the last 4 championships. So yes, it was a missed opportunity because if either Blaney or Logano had won Martinsville and gotten to Phoenix, we would all be considering them the favorite. So yes, it missed opportunity for a 4-peat, but 3 in a row. I mean, I think you're getting greedy if you're expecting 4 in a row. I do agree with you, though, because the format is likely to change next year and move away from this flat track winner take all finale. I do worry about Penske's consistency. Like, let's say they do go to a full season format or even the 10 race chase. Consistency matters a whole lot more. And I mean, look at Joey Logano's average finish the last 2 years. Boy, is not consistent. Ryan Blaney's been better than Logano at most tracks, but this year, a lot of DNFs. Is that number going to regress back down to the mean next year? I'm sure 12 fans are hoping so, but Penske's been good at specific track types late in the playoffs. They're not good when you look at a 36 race sample size, at least not as good as most of the Hendrick or Gibbs cars. So in that respect, yeah, I do worry that their dynasty could be pretty much over for the time being.
How about you, Danny? Where are you on Team Penske on the outlook?
I don't think that they fumbled anything. If anything, I'll say that they're, maybe this is just me struggling to remember everybody they had to go against. I feel like this was the best competition in the final 8 that they have ever had to go against these last 4 seasons. So by that metric, I will say that they didn't fumble anything. They got beat by probably better drivers than they've had to beat the last few years.
Well, and I'll add to that point too, because I think it is a good point. And I agree. I think this was the most well-rounded round of 8 since probably 2014. Honestly, like if you look at all 8,
yeah,
when you look at it doesn't matter, and race differently. I get that. The only thing that when you look at who scored the most points all year is like you can see like who has been running up front, scoring stage points, things like that. And when you look at that list, 8 of the top 9 are the 8 drivers who were competing. Like people like to say that Joey, and last year Joey Logano was mediocre to bad. He's a top 10 driver this year. Like I think it's just we have a warped perception of how good people have been. Joey has been a lot better this year, honestly, than last. He still was the lowest ranked of them, but these are the best of the best. And this Final Four, I would say, is probably the most well-rounded Final Four probably since 2018 when it was the big 3 and Joey Logano, who was the next best one in there.
That's probably true. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. This is a very wide open championship fight, and I was trying to compare it. What does it compare closest to? I felt like 18 is a very good comparison. Even 19, that was the year. It was very Toyota heavy in 19.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But I think Harvick was in there as well, and it felt pretty evenly matched then too. But certainly in the next gen era, this one feels pretty wide open. I mean,
yeah,
even 2021, that one felt like it was Larson or Truex.
And I see people saying 2021, but at the same time, like 2021 to me was it was lopsided. It's like
it was. Larson had like 9 wins going in, and like who else was in it? Denny had like 2, I think. Like
so that's when I say well-rounded, I mean it's like these are 1 the best, but 2 like it is close in the competition each week. It's not like there's and so with that being said, and kind of talking about them, we talked about the Hendrick duo. Well, now let's talk about the Joe Gibbs race and the Toyota side of it. They ended up finishing, I believe the 2 of them finished last and third to last. And in the middle of them was another Toyota with Riley Herbst, all of them losing engines within, I think, roughly 30 laps of each other in this race.
Briscoes and Hamlins are very close. And I don't remember if Herbst had the same. He had issues all day long.
Yeah.
They had like something, or a lot of issues. I think his may have been a little different, but still, that's 3 Toyotas with mechanical failures. I think Coach Gibbs said this week that they have a completely different like batch of parts on the cars going to Phoenix this week. Like that was a quality control issue. It was like a certain batch was bad. This is coming from a different, the parts this weekend are coming from a different pile. So hopefully everything's ship shape. Yeah, we'll see. I think if you're the drivers, you can't really be too worried about it. If you're the engineers, yeah, maybe you're losing a little bit of sleep, but we'll see.
We've been seeing Toyota, and especially the 11 team, has been having so many of these consistent issues. And it's not like, I get people saying, they're probably testing something, which maybe they are too. But that doesn't really excuse what happened at Vegas and how there were issues at Kansas and how there's been other issues. And I gotta admit, I'm a little worried that at least one of those two, and I fear because of what it would mean for him that it's Denny Hamlin, is probably going to have something pop up at Phoenix at this rate.
It could. It'll be interesting. Yeah, I just don't think you can go into it fearing that. It's happened. I mean, Christopher Bell in this race 2 or 3 years ago had a brake issue. It could happen. It very well could, but I don't. It's not anything that the driver at least can control. It would be very disappointing, but we'll see. I just don't think you can worry about it.
What do you think, Danny? You worried, or it's gonna be Toyota tough?
Not too worried, honestly. I think it'll all work itself out and be ready to go when it's time.
I think it's going to be regardless what happens, they're going to be fast, and if they blow up, they blow up, but they're going to be right up front if it happens. They will be really fast this week.
I'm trying not to say too much of my actual expectations for this weekend because I don't want to spoil picks for later tonight.
I get
Danny,
it.
don't you have the first pick?
I do. For every
so you don't have to. You could spoil it. You could tell us right now who you're picking. We can't do anything about it.
Picking Alex Bowman to win the championship. He's cashing in Money in the Bank.
A monkey.
Well, somebody who wasn't really cashing in all that much, maybe they'd have to pay for a few damages, was 3 particular drivers: Carson Hocevar, Daniel Suarez, and Eric Jones, who seemingly brought out every caution but the stage yellows.
Yeah, and Hocevar was in almost every spin. Even at the end, his teammate, or no,
his teammate.
McDowell got in him. Yeah, McDowell dumped him at the end there. So I don't know what was going on. It felt like everyone took out a year's worth of frustrations on Carson Hocevar in this one race, which I guess historically is kind of what Fall Martinsville is for. So I mean, hey, maybe some scores have been settled.
You're living up to that Hurricane name. That's for sure. I get some of them aren't his fault, but it's like his teammate, his future teammate. I can't wait to see the competition meetings.
Chat's calling him Caution Hocevar.
Knowing Carson, because I know that he watches every now and then, he'd probably find it funny, honestly. But again, it wasn't just him. There were a few times they'd show the battle for the lead between Byron and Blaney, and there, lo and behold, is Hocevar and Suarez beating the living hell out of each other's cars in the background.
Eric Jones losing it on cold tires in the middle of a green flag pit sequence right in front of, I think it was Larson, or maybe Blaney. It was one of the leaders. He spun right in front of, was sketchy there for a second. So now it was a good race. Again, to compare this to the first next gen races here, where the cars were so gripped up, you couldn't knock anyone sideways. It was nice to see tire wear matter, cars loose, hard to handle. It was a great balance. And like you said earlier, Jarrett, it felt like old classic Martinsville in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And Martinsville is my favorite track too. So to see tempers flare for actual on-track stuff going on, not just because they're stuck behind somebody, to see tire wear matter, to see all of this stuff happen in the way it did, the process that it did. I am very, very happy. And Dirty Dev watched Suarez vlog. He's not a big Hocevar fan.
I gotta check that out now.
Dude, I need to know somebody at Spire so I can be please wear wear a bug into the meeting so I can hear what they have to say to each other. Because, and hell, wasn't it Michael McDowell and Daniel Suarez that got into a fight not a few years ago, but years ago on pit road at Phoenix?
To be fair, Suarez says they're friends now. So maybe they are, but now they got to befriend Hocevar, and it's like two different generations trying to.
Kyle Busch is friends of Richard Childress now, apparently. So
it's like trying to make conversation with your great aunt at Thanksgiving. You're trying to be cordial, but you don't really know what they're talking about. You're just trying to make conversation the best you can. That's going to be Michael McDowell, Daniel Suarez trying to talk to Carson Hocevar on Mondays and Tuesdays next year.
Oh my god! You know what he should do just to like kind of mess with them a little bit is like because they're kind of like in that generation that's older than his. Is he should just walk in, just say like a bunch of random Gen Z slang, and have them look at him and be like, "No, I'm just messing with you guys."
Do the Steve Buscemi, how do you do, my fellow kids? Whatever.
Just the reverse of that.
Yeah.
He's like, "How do we skibbity, my fellow toilets?"
Yeah.
I think we're actually past that at this point.
I think we just lost 20 viewers. that was that. Wow.
Wait, I'll get them back. 6, 7.
Oh shoot. Oh my gosh, stonks. We're at 5 million concurrent viewers. That's incredible.
6, 7 is just the repackaged E from like 10 years ago.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's the same brain rot in a different font. But with that, you see them going on the bottom. We have talked about our not funny. I think it's pretty funny. I mean, hell, Kyle Busch thought it was funny. He just didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, but at least I'm saying it unironically, not to be serious.
Wouldn't that mean you're saying it ironically?
I don't know what I'm saying, Jarrett.
I don't either. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, which means we should probably head on into the ratings. Except, wait, there are no TV ratings data is given out this week other than 1.5 million watch Formula One. So good on them. That's actually a really good number for them. Like, props.
Solid.
But we don't have anything for NASCAR, at least not yet, unless somebody. If last time I said this, somebody in the chat's like, no, they published it like 10 minutes ago. Well, I've been live for over 20. So if you see it, let us know. But
here's a good one from Blorp.
I gotta scroll up.
I put it on the screen.
God, it's so bad. But yeah, we have no ratings to report of right now, which I guess means we head to the poll since there's also no cut line to look at anymore.
Oh yeah,
simple, short, sweet.
Yeah, the
playoff
championship 4. Yeah, let's go.
Winner take all. Yeah, 49 might lose.
God, I know my wife puts us on for my daughter to listen to when it comes to going to bed. She's probably crying at us right now. She's watching.
She probably cried earlier at the skibbity reference you made. That would have put me in tears if I was
real quick. Since we're in the championship of NASCAR, I want to point out, thanks to our chat keeping us up to date with some of the World Series updates. The Blue Jays had two batters go up, and it was 2 home runs right off the bat.
Oh, love that. Wait, was George Springer one of them? My guy?
I don't know.
I got to look that up now. My guy, George.
Don't worry, man. A few years ago, when I think the year he won the championship, or the year before, I said that no, it was not Joey Logano. Joey Logano, I think I said this year wouldn't make it in, and then I said William Byron wouldn't make it in like 3 years ago, and I got reminded every week, rightfully so. But the poll,
Springer's not playing. What happened? Did they beat him again? All right, and I ever.
Okay,
haters.
You know what? Since we're off track for a second, we have a minute. I will say the other night I was going to go record a video, right? And I was like, "Oh, World Series is on. What the hell? Their 10th inning. I'll watch to the end." Next thing I know, I'm waking up at 2:30 in the morning. It's the 18th freaking inning. I'm like, "What the hell did I miss?" Nothing. Apparently.
West Coast too. Yeah. Gosh.
Ooh, yeah. Anyway, the poll for the Xfinity 500, 10,000 of y'all, actually a little more, voted. 20% of you said this was a great race. 61% of you said that this was a good race. So 81% net positive. And as I'm frantically trying to find the other data for everything else, 15% said it was average, 4% negative, which means that it's generally pretty well viewed. Looking back at NASCAR races at Martinsville, and this one is the 7th highest voted Martinsville race, tying the Martinsville Spring Race of 2021. And then after that, it's 7th of 13. So it's actually right in the middle. It is like directly dead set in the middle. It's over, I think, outside of 2 of these, all next gen races. Rightfully
as long as
so.
it's higher than most of the next gen races, then that's fair.
Now, when it comes to the short tracks, this race ranks 16th out of 39 short track races polled ever. So in the right in the middle, basically, again. So first comment was from Ross Crash Stain. Positive, negative, or meme?
Oh, Ross Crash Stain's an interesting character, but I'm gonna go positive actually.
I'll say negative.
Dry bread wins again. Go figure.
Meme.
Go 11.
That was kind of negative though.
Nah, I thought it was negative, but if it might be a meme. Negative
meme.
Yeah.
A double negative. The dreaded double.
Mitch says no controversy. Was refreshing, to be honest. I gotta say that too. I'm very happy that we did not have some giant race manipulation crap or somebody intent wrecking somebody. Like we saved that for Saturday.
We got that out of the way early in the weekend.
Yeah, there was some controversy in the other series.
Yeah. SMCS Racing Network says no Penske cars in the final 4. We might finally have an unpredictable Gen 7 finale this time.
I mean, that is true. I'm excited. Last year, I was at Phoenix, and it was a fun weekend. Allgaier winning the title. I had fond memories of Dale Jr. running into the media center with the flag. Like, that was great. But Sunday, the moment Joey Logano crossed the finish line, my mentions, social media was ablaze. It just wasn't fun. It was not fun to talk about the finish of that race.
It was not.
I'm excited to be back at Phoenix this weekend. I'm dreading Friday and Saturday a little, but in general, I'm really excited about the Cup Series Final Four because I think any one of them is deserving. So it's going to be a fun weekend of storytelling, I think.
Caleb says probably the most I've enjoyed a Martinsville race in the next gen era. I'd agree.
That's fair. Yeah.
Soul Ninja, I think that's how you say it, says we finally have a deserving championship 4 after 10 years. I think, like we said earlier, there were a few others that were pretty good.
I think most of them are usually pretty deserving. If you're in the championship 4, I think you deserve to be there. But yeah, this one's more balanced.
This one's ironic. I didn't even realize it when I jotted them all down after the first comment. The Bread Man says that's the most emotion I've seen out of William Byron.
I thought the same thing when I saw it.
I enjoy it. I want to see more. I think I said it a few years ago or a few weeks ago, I should say. I probably did say it a few years ago as well. I want to see the Hendrick drivers show more personality, more emotion. I want to learn more about them. Every time I learn about like how they are and I see emotion from them, I like them more. It's just they don't show it as much because that's, I guess, the motto at the company. The gutter comment from Sports Dude BS.
Oh, the BS should say it all.
Martinsville is a worse track than Texas.
Okay.
It's a comment left over from 2022.
That's fighting words on my channel. I mean, it was for a few years there, I'll be honest, but it's not now. So
it might still be. One good race doesn't negate what we have been seeing.
I'm going to hold on to hope. I'm going to hold on to hope. But that is the poll. And now let's head on over to the Xfinity race. Let's break on into it where Taylor Gray broke into the win column for the first time. And I think I had said it on the stream last week that I had picked Almirola to win, but I was really like, oh, maybe I should pick Gray. He's on my list. I should have picked Gray.
We both talked about it. I mean, my pick finished second, had a chance to do the funniest thing, didn't take it, which was probably the right call. Shout out Sammy Smith. Yeah, it was a good race. It was a good race. Deserving winner. I mean, Taylor Gray should have probably won the truck race there a year ago. So to finally break through and get his first win, shame he's not in the playoffs anymore, but still, like, deserving winner, great momentum, hopefully to go into next season. And I did want to give Sammy Smith credit for not going overboard this time. He didn't make the championship 4, so the least we can do is give him a lot of credit for racing respectfully.
Well, I brought that up the other night and people were like, yep, he's still out, still a loser. And I'm like, but that is a big picture, long-term move in the Xfinity series. Like that's what the Cup guys will see and be like, hey, there's real progression here. Cause I don't think the Cup guys would have dealt with that much, like long-term.
Yeah. No, good for him.
What do you think about Gray and Sammy Smith rekindling their rivalry without it being, domestic terrorism at the end?
Well, that was a good thing. That they kept it calm, but I don't know what happened with Taylor Gray's dad. Apparently, he didn't keep something calm. But
Yeah. Does anyone know what happened on that?
I do not know.
Just indefinitely suspended from NASCAR and like no cause given.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. As far as the playoffs, Jesse Love totally missed it, but had a big enough cushion. He finishes 23rd. He advances. Carson Kvapil, he overcame a lot, spun out late, led 40 laps though in this race. I was just looking that up. I wanted to get that number right, and manages to advance. But do we want to talk about Sam Mayer and Jeb Burton? Because that was probably the biggest controversy of the weekend. And at least it wasn't really playoff related. It was just drivers losing their cool related.
I mean, that's Martinsville, right? Like that's kind of how I see it. Is like that is a normal Martinsville controversy we usually get. I'll say I was surprised. I'm surprised he was suspended. And I'll say it for one reason. It's because I was thinking they were going to judge it by it's a slow track and just fine him. And I kind of like the idea of taking the kind of big stick approach of we're not going to deal with that crap. You need to learn, especially since he wanted to go over the line on the interview and like make it really iconic. And then he kept pulling himself back and like he called him a brother.
He still drops some lines that are memorable. He doesn't have the it factor. He has the shit factor.
He didn't say shit. He didn't say it.
Not on TV. He said it to reporters afterwards. But yeah, on the TV, he censored himself slightly on the TV version. But what is the other line he said? He said, Jeb Burton is just fast enough to be annoying, but not fast enough to do anything else worth a damn. That was his exact quote. I thought that was pretty ruthless. Yeah, the image, let me put this up. We like Sam Mayer here. He's been on the show a couple times. Nice guy. Big believer in his talent. Go back to when he was in ARCA and he and Ty Gibbs were the class of the field. Mayer had some big truck moments. He's won a lot of Xfinity races. I think Sam Mayer is a really good driver, but this was a low moment. He moves Jeb early in the race. Fair enough. Jeb's on older tires. You move him, but late in the race, Jeb has a chance to move you back. He takes it. You got to accept that. You got to understand, okay, fair is fair. To wipe him out after the checkered and then to go on and just on a verbal tear in your post-race interviews, I just felt was not the most endearing look for Sam Mayer. So hopefully he learns from this. I think the suspension is fair, and I'm not shocked they did it. I think when they suspended a championship contender at Indianapolis, I know a very different situation. I felt like NASCAR drew a line there and said nobody is above the law. There was a time, as a Matt Kenseth fan, I thought there were some drivers, Jeff Gordon, who were above the law. I don't know how he didn't get suspended for what he did to Clint Boyer, but Matt Kenseth did. I digress. But I think NASCAR drew a line in the sand with Austin Hill. And remember a few years ago, they suspended Johnny Sauter for ironically wrecking Austin Hill at a short track, but it was under caution. So I think when the competition is over, so to speak, NASCAR really doesn't like guys wrecking each other. And so they set that precedent in the truck series a few years ago with Sauter. So that's why I wasn't too surprised. And I think it was the right call.
Well, it's kind of Larry McReynolds approach. I remember about 15 or so years ago, I might have been the Junior Mears thing when they both ran the same dark times. But he really driven it home. I don't like using your cars to beat each other up. Get out of the car and beat each other up. And that's kind of where I'm at with it. Like I actually, I want to see the drivers take it in their own hands to each other, not make it, $30,000 worth of damages so that the teams have to fix and they can just, skate on off and do whatever they do during the week. I'm surprised just because again, the Indianapolis one was so much at a different pace and speed. And then they didn't suspend Austin Cindric for doing something similar, granted under green, but to Ty Dillon. But I do like, let's take the strict approach. Let's, especially the lower series. I think we were calling for this in the spring. Like the lower series need to be policed tougher because a lot of these guys need to learn this lesson now, whereas the Cup guys should be up there and already know it. So I'm cool with it.
I'll disagree with this comment here. He's calling us kids, saying we have recency bias. The Kyle Busch Hornaday incident was completely different than the Sauter Austin Hill incident. That was on a 180 mile an hour intermediate track. I don't think that set a precedent. That was just common sense. I think the short track precedent was set with Sauter Hill. and then obviously was reestablished here with Sam Mayer and
I'm
Jeb
for it.
Burton.
I should take it as a compliment, and Jarrett should too. Jarrett's a dad. I'm 30, and we're still
True.
being called kids.
We are still being. That is a good point.
Hey, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. Because last week they all were calling me Unk, so I'll take that. I wouldn't want to challenge Jeb Burton to a fight though, and I have a feeling that
No.
he'll keep it in the back of his mind.
I like Jeb Burton. He is all talk. At this point, I see no reason to suggest otherwise. I have no doubt that if he were to get set over the edge and get physical, I think he's a tough guy. I think he would handle himself quite well. I think he would. But who was the driver a few years ago? He was on tape saying, "I'll wreck the dog F out of you."
I don't remember who it was, but I will raise you this one. I thought Matt Kenseth was all talk. And he proved at one point after he finally got disrespected enough, he was not all talk. Just ask Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski. Like,
yeah, Kenseth wasn't, he wasn't out there throwing haymakers. He sneak attacked Brad Keselowski and just gave him a hug. So, I mean, I still haven't seen Matt Kenseth fight someone really. No, I'm with you. Like I'm saying, I think Jeb Burton, if it was straight up, all right, we're fighting, he could be tough to beat. But I think it's going to take a lot to actually get him to that edge because I feel like he's had a few opportunities now and hasn't jumped at him. And maybe he's just being smart because I think it's absurd NASCAR fined Ricky Stenhouse $75,000 for the Kyle Busch incident 2 years ago or last year. Like that right there, send a message to the entire garage. If you're going to fight, you're probably going to pay for it. And it's like, man, like if they gave him Stenhouse a slap on the wrist, okay. I know he's a millionaire, whatever. $75,000 is a lot of money. It's a lot more money to a guy like Jeb Burton, probably. If they wanted to slap Stenhouse on the wrist, fine. Can't have guys throwing haymakers without any repercussions. I would have understood that. But $75,000, I would not be shocked if that's in the back of Jeb Burton's mind right there. In fact, I think I heard one report that Jordan Anderson actually basically pulled Jeb aside and said, "Let me go handle it." So maybe that's Jordan Anderson. Like, we don't want to get fined either.
Yeah.
He goes, guy.
I will say too, like, I think you could tell, like, Sam's demeanor changed when Jordan talked to him. Like, he still was being kind of a little punk about it, but I think it also shows like Jordan Anderson has a ton of respect in the garage.
He does.
Like he's worked his ass off to get in that position. He's one of the most likable people out there. And like I said, you just gave his team, that small operation, $30,000 worth of damages that they didn't need when y'all probably, if Jeb was all, and probably still would be all talk for now, like you're probably just going to get a tongue lashing back and forth. Like that's all you would have had.
I put Jordan Anderson up there with BJ McLeod in terms of drivers who are well liked around the garage area that you don't want to get on their bad side.
One could say blue collar.
Ooh, blue collar team.
And I'm saying this unironically. But
no, that is the definition of a blue collar team right there.
It is. I mean, they do so much more with less. And power to them. We kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but just to kind of reiterate. So the final four is set with Zilich, Allgaier, Love, and Quapple. This is kind of what we alluded to earlier of like, there's well-rounded final fours and then there's ones that are just freaking lopsided. And it's definitely lopsided towards the two who already were locked in. Like,
I agree. I mean, Zilich has had the best overall season, but Allgaier, like the gap is there, but it's not a huge gap to Allgaier. Allgaier's just behind Zilich in like top fives and top tens. I think they've led like the exact same number of laps this year. Obviously Zilich has far more wins, but like those two, are kind of obviously 1-2. And then it's a distant third to Love and Quapple. I think it's cool that there are two rookies in the championship four, although it's worth noting that I believe the 19 and the 21 are in the owners final four. And so does that mean the 2 and the 1 are out? So is the owners 19, 21, 88, and 7?
I would assume so.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's right. Someone can confirm that. I'll confirm that before the weekend. But yeah, so
they're saying
cool to see two. Yeah, cool to see two rookie drivers in there though.
There's no way you can convince me, even if he wins the championship, that Carson Quapple should be rookie of the year at minimum.
Oh, shoot! I didn't think about that. That's at stake here, right?
Yeah. That's so stupid.
That's crazy. That's like so. Sorry, say Allgaier wins, which is very likely. He's great here, and Zilich finishes 4th, and Quapple 3rd. Rookie of the year, Carson Quapple.
I'll raise you another one. Almirola, he wins. Quapple, like finishes second and Zilich third. Zilich loses everything. The owners, the drivers, the rookie of the year, after having an historically great season. Like Zilich could be like third in just second or third in every single tally. Is just ridiculous.
The textbook
that's too
pitfall
bad.
of this.
Connor Zilich is going to win it all this weekend.
Well,
you said that about Joey Logano.
Danny, how dare you?
Okay, but I mean it about Connor here. So
yeah. No,
I was doing Logano mainly for the memes.
Points.
These are the pitfalls of.
I was doing Logano for the memes, Connor for the heart.
We could probably talk more in depth about that side of it with the some of the other topics later on. And then there was the truck race where Connor Zilich's, I guess, mirror when it comes to the two lower series, and Corey Heim wins his 11th race of the year, ties Todd Bodine for 6th all-time on the wins list. And did you see that, like, I think they said if you carried even playoff points into the finale, Heim would have locked it up because he has 91 to like the next closest, like 10.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. The fact that Heim has 11 wins this year and the rest of the championship four combined have only 1 win this season is probably the most offensive, probably the most damning stat of the winner take all finale yet. I felt bad for Raja because he entered this race plus 14, was doing a good job, got damaged because Lane Riggs missed a shift or whatever happened, and then gets his tire cut by Caden Honeycutt, who did the same thing to Heim in the spring race. I felt bad for Raja because I don't feel like he really, he got knocked out of the 2 seed really by no fault of his own from what I could tell.
What do you think of, because I saw somebody say that Cruz got robbed. The moment of caution deal, Fox never showed the moment of caution, though. Like, everyone was talking about, like, the
even if they did, you couldn't trust it. Even if they did, they've done this with the Cup Series. You can't trust Fox's timing, their cameras. You can't trust anything that broadcast knows.
They were talking about, like, the scoreboard, but we've seen this happen before. The scoreboard is always a few seconds off of the actual light. So, like, I think he probably was ahead. It's just that Fox Sports is trash, and they are on all levels. I said this in one of my, in the comments or in the chat during one of my favorite football podcasts when they were talking about how bad Fox has been lately, and I was like, y'all, like, us NASCAR fans have been dealing this for 10 years. We're the canary in the coal mine telling you guys it's going to get bad, and it's here. It's bad. So I think that kind of got blown a little out of proportion because I do think, like, they do freeze the field. Sound like people that were in the media center too said that, like, yeah, Heim was ahead at the moment, but it was just close. But I did want to address that really quick. And I want to bring one point up, and it wasn't all intentional, but for somebody who likes to critique on a weekly basis every truck race everyone else is driving, Lane Riggs hit everyone.
Yeah, he had a rough night. Beginning with the missed shift, and then even despite all that, he comes home third and loses the final spot on a tiebreaker. I think
that's another kind of that's not. I don't think it's a controversy, but the tiebreaker, man.
I wouldn't have been as mad if Caden had just beat him straight up by 1 point. But the fact that they literally tied 0-0 and a tiebreaker doesn't go to who has the most wins in a season, I don't get that. That's where I get mad about it. And it's just the fact that, in a season where Heim has clearly dominated, this is his championship to lose, the fact that the driver who had the second best overall performance is going to be reflected as the 5th best driver this season in that series. This is just another reason this playoffs needs to go away after this year.
I bet that 11 team wiped the sweat off their brow being like, that was one of the 2 teams that could actually beat them at Phoenix.
That was the only driver I would be worried about beating them.
We had this exact conversation a few weeks ago, Jarrett, and I think we were exactly right. It was like, I think you had said Riggs is Heim's chief competition. I was like, I agree. If he gets to Phoenix, because I felt like Riggs has made a lot of mistakes this year. He's not always been the cleanest. And unfortunately that did, but I think we were both right because I think Danny's right that the 11 team, it was a little Majeski's going to be tough, and you can't sleep on the other two. Anything can happen, but Riggs would have been the guy who would have gone wheel to wheel with Heim this week, and now you don't have to worry about him. So that's good for the 11.
And Majeski's gotten to this championship 4 quietly. This was not a good year for 4 Sport in general.
I'll be real. It wasn't a good year for Ford across all 3 series this year. When you look comparatively, like look at the manufacturer standings for Cup. Look at the amount of wins in the lower series this year. Like Ford has been bad. I mean, they have been bad. Remember back in the day when it was like, Chevy, Toyota, and Ford were up front, and then Dodge was lagging behind. That was Ford across the board this year.
Yeah. Majeski is the only Ford in a Final Four. And I know Xfinity, they only have a few cars, but Mayer, Creed could have made it, and they didn't. So there you go, Danny. Look at that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm shocked, but thank you.
Ford nuke explosions. Well, so talking about.
Wait, hold on. This is actually a crazy stat, and I believe it's correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That's
well,
crazy.
So the Final Four is Heim, Majeski, Honeycutt, and Ankrum. If you thought the Xfinity one was lopsided,
yeah, this is insane.
This is like looking at Everest versus like, oh, you got to run up that 30-foot hill. Like that is the difference here. I mean, I think is it the amount of top 5? No, it's the amount of stage wins. It would take at the rate that they got stage wins this year, the other 3, it would take them 3.5 seasons to match Heim's 2025.
I think I did the math. It's 21 stage wins for Heim, and I think the other 3 combined, it's like 6.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just
it's crazy.
1 win versus of the 3 of them combined versus 11. And the thing is, like, because I've seen a lot of people who have been like, oh, like now the full season people are talking about wins. It's like, no, it's not just wins. Like I brought this up the other night, and I'm going to read through it because it has to be shown just how good he is this year. Like with Heim, is his average, I think, is like a 5.7 this year. I mean, it's something crazy like that. 5.2. 5.2 is his average this year. Jesus Christ, man. He's at a 25% win clip in his career, by the way, 22 for 88. But so we talked about how good he is, and he had like that terrible stretch in the summer. And I say stretch, it was 2 races where he finished like 18th in the crazy Michigan finish and 23rd after did he have a flat or a restart violation? I think it was at Pocono.
Yeah,
might have been a restart violation. The chat will know. They'll let me know. But since that 23rd place finish, he has finished first, third, first, third, first, second, first.
My goodness.
That's actually insane.
He had a flat.
I didn't realize it was that consistent.
He has led in every single race this year. In fact, outside of the first 2 races of the year that were super speedways, and then the Roval and a super speedway at Dega. By the way, in those races, he won, finished 23rd in the Atlanta one, then finished second and won, or won and then finished second. Like, he has led double-digit laps in almost every single race this year. In the truck series, what's the stat line? 11 wins, 18 top 5s, 20 top 10s, 1,525 laps led, which is more than the next 9 combined.
Does it say, I'm trying to pull it, does it say what percentage of laps he has led? Like how many of the laps this season has he led?
I can pull that up in a sec. Let me pull that up.
Let me see.
Of how many he's run or total laps run.
So okay.
Will be difficult.
Well, let me look at this. So he's completed roughly 3,700 laps. He has led 1,500. So he has almost led half the laps he has run in a truck this year.
Wow.
That's just, I mean, let's see. 3,781. The percentage is 40.3% of laps he's run this year. He has been leading. And that's taking out the fact that there might have been times he pitted for stages.
That's crazy.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
He has led 40% of all laps in trucks this year. That's wild.
I'm not even going to put
Crazy.
the poll for the truck one up at this point. I know people are asking, like, because I put the Xfinity one because at least you have, like, Allgaier to look at, and then maybe some. I'm not even doing it for this series. I know who you guys are all going to vote for, and it's going to be one of two people, and it's the one who won last year or the one who should win this year. Jesus, this might, raw numbers wise, for the series, like in general of all the seasons we've done this show, this might be the most dominant season we have ever seen. Like,
I think so.
I mean, what other one would be at this point?
I don't even know if you can parlay NASCAR champions, but if you even put one together that featured Heim and Zilish, would you even make money on it?
Oh my God. I just looked at the amount of points scored in the year so far. Like, of total. How many points higher than Lane Riggs, because he's the second most, do you think Corey Heim is in total scored this year?
I don't even know. A couple hundred, maybe 100. I don't know.
I'm going to
With you,
guess
Danny.
somewhere over 350.
284.
Yeah, I would have not
Right in between me and Eric.
just said over 200.
I wonder. Yeah, I mean, it's Jesus, it's insane how good he's been this year. But man, I don't care what happens. Like, he's on my Mount Rushmore. I don't care at this point. Like,
Put him in the Hall of Fame. Go all the way. Let's just do it.
Maybe we can have that argument.
Hall of Fame season.
I'm going to pump the brakes real quick on that one.
I'll put him on my Truck Series Mount Rushmore.
If he wins the championship, where is he on the all-time Truck Series wins list? Is he top 5 yet?
For 6th with Todd Bodine.
All right, he's got to get to top 5.
He's still going to show up and race some truck races next year. Don't you worry about that.
That's what I'm saying. He's got to get to top 5, then we can have the conversation.
I'll see how far away he is.
Since it doesn't look like he's got a cup ride coming next year, from everything I can tell, he's going to be making some truck starts.
Does he even have a ride, though? I don't think he has like a ride line.
He's got nothing announced officially.
We're still waiting to hear whatever that was from 2311.
So, yeah, he's tied for 6th with Todd Bodine. He is 2 behind Johnny Sauter for 5th and 6 behind Skinner and Sprague for 3rd. It's going to be a while before he hits Hornaday and Kyle Busch, but I don't think anyone will.
Maybe 2311 is going to make their announcement when Corey Himes won the championship and Denny Hamlin's just going to walk and be like, here's your ride.
And for winning the championship or for having this great season, you get a brand new car. But we'll talk more about those in a few those conversations and a few other segments for sure tonight. But let's hit the first super chat stage break. How about that? What do you guys think?
Good.
I think we got a few from before the show. We'll pop this up on so everyone knows what we're doing. Joshua Boston left a couple before. Few tenors and a 20. Says William Byron, in order to clinch a championship, must finish 7th or better, assuming no stage points are handed out to him, and Kyle Larson 11 points back, or Christopher Bell 25. So that's the full season, I take it.
I see it. Yeah.
It says Kyle Larson needs to outscore Byron by at least 11. Neither gets stage points. He must win and hope the 24 finishes 8th or worse. And Bell would outscore Byron by 25 overall and outscore Larson by 15 if no one got stage points, and must hope that Byron finishes 22nd or worse, or the 5 scores at least 15 points less.
So it's Bell versus Larson versus Byron if you're a regular season truther.
Yes. Let's see. Joshua Boston says, after 20 years of trying, is 2025 Denny's year? Check.
Stay tuned.
From there, let's see. Irvin Alvarado says, holy crap, after seeing Bob's screenshots of the NASCAR finances and positive cash flows, holy crap, no wonder this lawsuit was filed. The racing series is positive in cash and net income. So we'll talk a bit more about that in a bit. I think a lot of people are misreading some of what Bob put, and we'll kind of cipher through that a little bit.
But Irvin's right. Like, it looks like NASCAR's net income is in the tens, if not $100+ million a year, whereas teams are barely breaking even. Like, definitely, there's a disparity there that makes you understand why.
NASCAR's got to have a little extra money to do whatever today was.
Jeffrey King says the NASCAR Creator Series was a failure.
Funny timing.
I mean, I guess I'll bring that up for a moment because we have a little extra space on this segment. It was rough. It was, but at the same time, like, I think a lot of people missed the point of like outreach other people, and it did reach number 5 of games streamed on Twitch. I just, what a missed opportunity, because if it had worked as well as that game can work, and I played that game a lot, if it had worked as well as it can, I think it would have actually been something really cool. Hopefully they can fix it for next week. I don't know. At the end, I said December 5th. I think they meant November 5th. But I hope they fix it. I do. I really hope they do. Even if it seemed like half the people at the end didn't want to be on camera, and even like one of the drivers seemed like he quit. Looking more through, I think Jeffrey King left another one here. Yeah. Says champions in Xfinity and trucks will be Honeycutt and Quapple. Both finished second and win with 0 wins.
Oh boy.
I mean, I was at one of those races. I think we were the
Matt Crafton special in what will probably be Matt Crafton's final race. There we go.
Below the apron says, brother, looks like you got the reality check, Sam. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. Roman numeral 3 says, I made a racing game playlist with a bunch of rock and metal on YouTube in my profile. It's for World of Outlaws or NASCAR games, racing songs galore. Well, thank you.
Very nice.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Cool to check that out.
Tyler McGonigal, the ultimate Byron fan, next to me when I was all swollen. Look good. Byron, let's go. I'm still riding that high. Woo!
I feel that.
Jeffrey King says, go Byron and or Larson. Make us HMS depressed Elliott and Bowman fans proud. P.S. Elliott will rise. I do think he's closer than people give him credit.
Bowman will not rise.
I stand with 2311. Carson says, congrats to Heim 2025. I'm cheering for Ty Majeski.
Damn. Predictable.
He's riding that train to the very end of the track.
At least he's saying congrats to him. He's already admitted.
Yeah. Tim says, would Alex Bowman be at HMS if it wasn't for Tennessee? Hashtag remember the Alamo. See, I like this one.
If it wasn't for support from a madman from Tennessee.
I'll read a few more, but I want to say this before we go on. I like that we're at least using some new ones, like the other ones we keep reusing. We might need to get some new ones, guys. These are good. They're fresh. So Carson leaves a couple more, says congrats to Zillage 2025. I'm cheering Allgaier.
Committed to the bit.
I respect it. And says congrats to first time champs Hamlin, Byron, and Briscoe. Not Kyle Larson. You already were the champ. Young Money, bug off. Thank goodness no team.
That's true. We haven't really even thought about that. We have a chance for 3 out of 4 of these guys to be a first-time champion.
Yeah. Let's do this one, then 2 more. Jeffrey King says Gibbs and HMS defeated the Penske Empire. That is true. Justin says down goes Penske, and more importantly, Joey Logano is out. Take that fake hair off and go to the Mickey Mouse Club. I was built like Goofy, dressed like Hines. No undeserving champion this year. Damn, tell me how you really feel about Joey.
Justin's been dishing out the hot takes the last few episodes, so he's bringing the fire once again.
And we'll go with Mr. Penguin for the last one. Says, I like the NASCAR Creator Series concept to get new eyes on NASCAR, but the way it was handled today was terrible. All streams have to be knockout of the park now.
That's the thing, though. You ruined me with this horrible one. I don't intend to watch it again. I really don't.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was on. They announced it like yesterday. I didn't know they were already doing like a stream.
And the main NASCAR account on Twitter didn't promote it with like a link or anything either. They just I had to go in the eNASCAR account to find the link for it.
I knew it was on because of Jeff Favignano. That's how I found out about it.
Why wasn't he a part of this too? Like, I know that they had him out for stuff, but like Jeff has an outside audience that's very similar. I guess if they want Twitch people instead of YouTube. They
didn't want anyone to have a NASCAR like background, and that's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. But what they did have a lot of them resort to then kind of asking them to plug it, to promote it. That's what I kind of noticed. I know, I think Gary Owen, he was asked or was doing a watch along or something like that, and I don't, I'm sure they weren't really impressed with what they had to watch. Then it's just been, it was handled so bad. Like, optics are everything. This is bad optics for NASCAR. It's bad optics for everyone involved. And unfortunately, you've lost me. I don't intend to watch any more of it. I felt like I literally felt like, maybe people might say it's watching us, but I feel like I was losing brain cells watching it. I really did.
Well, you know what can cheer you up, Danny? One thing. The lightning round.
Yes.
That could cheer you up. So we're really getting down to the end of it here. So, of course, there is the NWP channel that we every week we'll plug in, because every week we put these episodes back up on there. If you miss them live, you can always check them there the next morning. They will be up probably, honestly, 7 Central time in the morning. So the new Wheel and Modified Tour schedule has been released. Same with the Cars Tour schedule. Some, I'd say people are, for the most part, pretty happy with that. Danny, April 11th, Nashville Fairgrounds Cars Tour is going to be there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Now I'm wondering, will they move All American back another week into November so it doesn't line up with the finale and we can actually get like a bunch of NASCAR drivers at All American this year?
That would be smart.
They did it this year. Like the All American 400 is after the NASCAR finale weekend. Maybe they can do it again.
Got to make sure it doesn't also conflict with awards banquet too.
Like the NASCAR awards banquet?
Yeah, if you want to get certain NASCAR drivers there.
Yeah, but that's during the week before, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. That's right. I always forget they do it during the week and then shown on the weekend. That's right.
Chevy is to unveil their new body in the next 3 or so weeks, according to Bob Pockrass. So keep a lookout for that. A few things with Toyota here. They announced the end of the GR Supra in March of 2026. So that's going to be interesting to look at for the O'Reilly series in the coming years. Also, they've worked with the president on investing $10 billion into American auto plants and having a huge push to invest more into the American market over the next decade, according to the Wall Street Journal, which means NASCAR is probably going to be filled with Toyota for all those that love Toyota. There you go. For all those that don't want those dang Toyotas in there, sorry. And then the Cope family team is looking for a funded driver so they can run full-time in the 2026 O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. And guys, I thought of one person, a hero that could save them in the dead of the night. Chris Wright. It just seems like a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
And with that, next weekend, we will be live Wednesday night on Eric's channel. He's over here. 8 p.m. Eastern time for the season 8 finale.
Can't wait.
This year's flown by, man. But that'll do it for the lightning round. And right on top of that, let's go into headlines. There's been some stuff going on. Let's start with silly season. How about that?
Packed week. So many announcements. Where do we want to start? Front Row confirmed their whole cup lineup is back. They signed Zane to a multi-year extension. It's also wacky because, the lawsuit is still in our midst, and there's the possibility the team won't have charters next year. There's also a possibility they settle the lawsuit in the next couple of days. So who knows there, but good for Zane if it sticks, because he's bounced around from GMS to Front Row to Trackhouse / Spire back to Front Row. Goodness gracious. I just want the guy to have like a core group around him for a couple of years, see if they can develop.
I think, having that development for all three of them would be huge. Same with Noah Gragson. Like, I want to see what he can do with a base built underneath of him, because he keeps having so many different changes.
Todd Gilliland, 2nd at Talladega, 9th at wherever he just raced, Martinsville. So
wherever we just raced,
finishing the year strong.
Jesse Love is returning to the O'Reilly series in the RCR number 2. What do you think? Maybe he takes another step this coming year?
I just want him to win a non-super speedway. And I know he won Rockingham, but, got disqualified. He was fun to watch in that race, but I just want to see him win a non-super speedway. I could say the same about Austin Hill, because most of his wins are super speedway wins too. I guess RCR in general needs to step it up. But I hope Jesse keeps getting better, because I think he's a future Cup talent.
What do you think, Danny? You think think he will take that step up?
Yeah, I think so. I think not having Connor there will definitely help him a little bit in that regards. They're also those two actually good friends, so I'm sure Connor might be kind of cheering him on a little bit.
We'll stick a lot of this stuff in the lower series. The O'Reilly series will stick there for a little bit. Sam Hunt Racing will field 2 cars in 2026. Dean Thompson is back. Harrison Burton joins the team. What do we think? Level up, lateral move? Where are we at with that?
Level up to at least get some better factory support behind Harrison Burton.
I think it's a lateral move as far as next year is concerned, but big picture, you're now with a team that has, like Danny said, actual OEM ties, at least deeper than what AM Racing seemed to have. So that bodes well for Harrison. If he does well in this seat, he could be in line for future promotions.
And keep in mind, Harrison originally came from JGR, TRD development there. There's always a chance that this could open a door back at JGR someday.
That would be amazing for him, especially if he can get maybe a win here at some point. I mean, those cars can have the ability to run top 10. You can take advantage at some point. I do think it's like a very small level up, like at least for this year. And then like you guys are saying, long-term with Toyota, I think it's like New Hampshire banking stepping up. Like it's a little bit, but it's still a little.
Broadly, like as a career move, this feels like a step up. But as far as how much speed he's going to have next year, it's probably about the same.
Colleague has been in the news lately. They have paused operations for their Xfinity O'Reilly Series team in 2026. Danny Dye and Justin Haley will be driving in the Truck Series next year. So Haley brought back into the back into the family.
Which we had what's the word? We had speculated that Haley might be considered to come back to Colleague in some way.
Because it made the most sense. But then Chris Rice, what I've learned through this is you can't trust a word Chris Rice says. First, he says it's not our fault. Then they fire the spotter. Then he says, yeah, sorry, but I don't think we have space for Justin. Didn't he literally say last week that their Truck Series lineup was set? And then this week, oh, never mind, Justin Haley, here's a truck.
He might not have been lying about it being set. It just was set with Justin Haley.
Maybe. Now we have 3 seats confirmed. Butterbean, Danny Dye, and Justin Haley. Still 2 open for now?
Yeah. At least
and those could be part-time drivers. We don't know. Like they could announce 4 drivers for 2 seats. That's possible. Yeah, Eckes would make a lot. Like honestly, this lineup of Brendan Queen, I'm not super high on Daniel Dye. I think he's average. And then Justin Haley, like I think Haley and Butterbean could be championship contenders. If Ram is really good, let's say Ram is at least as good as Thor Sport or a little better, like those 2 could contend for the championship next year. So I like their lineup so far. I remember originally it was like, yeah, we'll have Tony Breidinger and Cletus McFarland and Daniel. I was like, okay.
Well, there still is Daniel Dye.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Dye is kind of like the chaotic neutral.
Justin Haley may very well get Ram their first win back in NASCAR at Daytona. He's a good super speedway racer.
Yeah. I mean, I could totally see that happening. And, it is a very much a huge reset for them. It's not like they're going to be gone forever from the series. I know it's been rumored that Spire might buy the Xfinity equipment from Colleague and maybe go from there and try and build up a little bit. But I got to say, with the Truck Series next year, I'm very, very intrigued because I think that, unless something we find out about Heim, if Heim doesn't have a ride anytime soon, he's probably just going to be piecemealing together part-time deals in Xfinity or O'Reilly and Truck. It's probably going to be wide open next year. Like, unless Lane Riggs takes another steps and he's the dominant one, like, which he could be interesting.
Hearing you mention the Spire might buy out Colleague's Xfinity equipment, that makes me wonder, something we didn't even put into our list here. We know Raja Karoof is doing a lot of races, but a part-time schedule still for JRM next year. We also now found out that Carson Quaffle is not going to be part-time as originally thought. He's going to be full-time now, and I don't. JRM just kind of didn't really specify what that means exactly. If that means full-time in a JRM car, I wasn't quite sure how to take that announcement, but Quaffle will be.
I think that's what they meant. I mean, they talked
Yeah.
about getting sponsor deals and stuff over the last couple weeks. So
I just can't
think
figure out
that's
what
they meant.
car he's going to be in, but I wonder if somehow, some way, for like Raja, somehow do they find a way to get him involved in a Spire car when he's not in JRM equipment?
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
that's possible, I suppose. No, I think next year the truck series with Riggs, Honeycutt likely in a Tricon Toyota, Haley, Brendan Queen. Obviously, I assume we'll have Ty Majeski and still in the series. Like there's going to be. I don't think there'll be a runaway like there was with Corey Heim this year, but that's going to make it all the more interesting. I think there are 4 or 5 drivers at least that will be serious title threats come the start of the season.
Well, and speaking of Tricon, just to kind of touch base on this, which expected, they signed a multi-year extension with Toyota. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't continue with Toyota. And then, so going from the silly season to kind of future news, the track promoter for Mexico City, the racetrack out there, publicly is pushing for NASCAR and IndyCar to build foundations for a 2027 return. Says because of the World Cup going on, obviously it made it difficult. Sounds like they're going to reset a few things. For instance, I know a lot of the talk around the NASCAR race was the fact that the crowd didn't look the greatest and they didn't sell as many tickets as initially expected. It's also because they, from the sound of it and the look of it, charged like almost Formula One prices to get people in instead of more NASCAR prices. So I'm assuming they'll probably have a better crowd if they come back in 27. I was just thinking about this though. Like in 2027, we could have a race in Mexico and up in probably Montreal. Like we could be on both ends of the border at different points.
And I think that'd be good. I think 100% there's room for both on the schedule. I thought Mexico City was good. I don't have anything else to add. I thought the foundation of a real solid, consistent international event was laid, and I'd like to see that it grow from there. I mean, obviously SVG winning by 18 seconds at the end was impressive, but also kind of a snoozer. But I think for sure, if NASCAR wants to be international, Canada and Mexico, just do that. Your North American stock car racing, just focus there and see where it goes.
I'd be down for both. I think NASCAR's done a good job at getting a lot of the older tracks back and a lot of the ones that NASCAR fans want. Sounds like they might be leaning even more into some of that stuff next year with any changes or different things that could pop up. I think having a balance is pretty good with it. But that'll finish at least the silly season future stuff. Want to go down to NASCOURT?
Where do we even start? I think we can simplify this. So last week, the two sides met for 2 days to try and reconcile their differences. This was a court-mandated mediation session. Based on what The Athletic reported, the first day, things went pretty well. And even the start of the second day, the foundation of a settlement was established. And then things kind of fell apart. Again, according to Jordan Bianchi, The Athletic, there's disagreement on who would pay what legal fees. There was some disagreement around, hey, would 2311 and Front Row be recouped for the last few races they've run without charters, technically? Just money, a lot of money, but just money was really the only part they disagreed on. As far as making charters more permanent, didn't use that word in the reports that I read, but like NASCAR was willing to make assurances that they wouldn't do away with the charter agreement after the current deal ends. So kind of giving them permanent charters. They agreed to give 2311 and Front Row their charters back, essentially, that they used to own. So in general, the broader terms of a settlement were reportedly agreed upon last week, but they didn't reach the final step. So they went to that summary judgment hearing where we now found out the judge sided with the teams and threw out NASCAR's countersuit. So remember, the team sued NASCAR saying, hey, you're a monopoly, blah, blah, blah. NASCAR then countersued the teams and said, well, hey, you violated antitrust laws when Curtis Polk tried to get all the teams to conspire against us. The judge threw that argument out. He said, no, there was no conspiracy. You cannot prove that they violated any antitrust laws. So now if this goes to trial in December, the only case will be is NASCAR a monopoly. That's it. No question about the council. Oh, the spotlight's on NASCAR. They are the defendant, I guess, solely. And the moment that comes out, reports and statements come out that NASCAR really wants to settle this case. That's where we're at now. Is NASCAR now is making noise that they want to settle this before Friday, if possible. And I think it's possible. I don't know that it's likely, but we shall see. And then we can get into it. There was a lot of documents made public as a result of the summary judgment hearing. Like the entire charter agreement is now a public. I've skimmed some of it. Bob Pockris, as I know, tweeted a lot of screenshots. Some of NASCAR's recent financial data, like broad numbers, net income and such, is also now widely available. You can kind of see how the charter team payouts work. And there was some confusion there. I saw a lot of fans on Twitter saw the base charter payout was like 140,000 per car per race. And people are like, that, they're doing the math. They're like, that's like $5 million a year. That's nothing. It's the base. There's a reason it's called the base. That doesn't include the race by race purse money.
It's
that
like
doesn't,
a safety net.
It's like if you're the worst car, if you finish last in every race, last in the points, you still would make a little more than that. Like that's the base. So like the championship for this weekend, based on the numbers I've seen, people have been doing calculations, the Hendrick 24 car this year is probably going to make $17-18 million in purse money and charter payouts. That's not including what they're getting from Exalta and Chevrolet. That's just what they're getting from NASCAR and from purse money. So I think it paints a different picture when people look past the initial numbers that were being reported. Still, I think between my takeaway was, hey, NASCAR is supposedly made net revenue like $100 million each of the last few years. In fact, a couple of years ago when they sold Fontana, they made $500 million in net income based on the documents I saw. Whereas many of the teams are struggling to break even.
Well,
that disconnect, I think, is where that's where there's frustration. That's part of why there's a lawsuit. I don't know if they can meet in the middle, but anyway, that's my long but still simplified backstory as to what's happened the last few days.
Well, and 75% of teams did lose money last year. And it is important to note too, that teams making money, it also counts in the stuff they do outside of NASCAR. So like, for instance, some of these teams, some of the bigger teams they actually will make different components for different branches of the military, for instance, like that, because they've basically had to cut off a third of their operation since the next gen has come in. And so they do make that extra, a lot of those bigger teams do make the extra money in outside ventures as well. So it's not like, say a Hendrick or a Joe Gibbs who might be doing similar things like that, or making different parts for a Chevrolet or a Toyota or a Ford or whoever. Like, it's not saying maybe even that the costs of the racing might have kept them afloat as much as they basically had to do side hustles to keep them afloat. So it's definitely still a tough trek for the teams, but like this whole thing of like they're making $4 or $5 million a year, like no, that's grossly misread, I think, by a lot of people, especially when you look at that tweet we were talking about before the show, where it's like every comment is like saying how bad it is and how 140 or whatever. Yeah, it's I think it's been the message has kind of been blurred because of reading comprehension more than the information. There were a few other things, like a settlement could be very close, like we talked about. That NASCAR would be returning the charters more than likely to 2311 to Front Row. Now they're asking to get back pay. There's a big fight over who pays the $100 million legal fees for it all. Which is a lot of money.
I don't see back pay happening whatsoever.
I don't either.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like you pretty much won, for lack of a better way of putting it. I think you can deal with not having that pay.
But this is where, this is where all along we've talked about who has the leverage. And early on, it was obvious NASCAR did. The teams weren't unified. NASCAR is the one that signed this $7 billion TV deal. They're the brand. They own Daytona. Like, NASCAR has the leverage. Maybe they have too much leverage. That is part of why there's a lawsuit now. But all this time, all these couple of years, they've been fighting. Finally, I think partially because they won the summary judgment hearing, they got that decision their way. The teams now feel they have the most leverage. NASCAR are the ones scrambling we want to settle this. 2311 front row is like, okay, show us how badly you want to settle this. Give us our money back since Dover. NASCAR's like, no. Like, you forfeited those charges. Okay, well, then we'll take you to court then. Oh, shit. Okay, well, no, let's talk about, like, the teams have the leverage here. So they are asking for a lot, I think, and based on these reports. Like, I think if they do settle roughly at the terms that these reports are suggesting, I think the teams will probably end up getting a little more of what they want than NASCAR would like. But that's because the teams now have some leverage. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah. There was a little talk too of like teams and NASCAR back and forth, not making personal attacks at each other. If, it goes further, not discussing or referring to, different places of opposition, other things like that don't have to do with it. Not discussing the reasons Brian France left. I feel like that's been publicly discussed.
I thought that was very funny that they're like, we really don't want anyone to bring up Brian France in court. And it's like, okay. Like, it's just funny that they singled him out.
He's like the black sheep of the family now.
They're like, look, we know we have a problem here. Can we not talk about that one?
Yeah, we're dealing with this one as the family. Like we want to have some dignity here. But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't think they're gonna have the back pay. I think NASCAR will probably get the bulk of the legal side of it if they lose as part of maybe the agreement. But I think that's just if that's the sticking point, I think this thing is pretty much done. Like
it's all just money at this point. It's the $100 million legal fees, and then I don't know what the charter thinks. It's roughly $100 million. They're basically fighting over how much of the $100 million does NASCAR have to pay, how much of the $100 million do the teams have to pay.
Yeah, we're not talking even about the issues anymore. I saw people, well, Jeffrey Kessler said this and he was beating his chest. Well, he's a lawyer. He's supposed to do that. Like, he's going to do that until it's like basically hammer hits the gavel or whatever. And we're good and we're done, So I'm assuming that's it. I don't think we're going to be talking about this on December 1st. And if we are, it's going to be like, hey, you remember when that whole like lawsuit thing was going on a few weeks ago? Like, I think the fact that NASCAR has talked openly and the teams too, and that this could be done or want to get it done by championship week or weekend. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, I got a email. Let's see. I have a list of the media availability this week, the media availability schedule. The State of the Sport address where Phelps and O'Donnell talk about everything is scheduled for this Friday, Halloween, at 10:15 a.m. Phoenix time. So I think that's like noon or 1 Central or Eastern. That's like 1:15 Eastern, I think.
Yep.
So I would expect NASCAR wants this to be done before 1:15 Eastern time on Friday. That is my guess, is that they want this done before Phelps and O'Donnell get behind microphones at Phoenix Raceway. So keep an eye on the calendar. If it's not done by tomorrow, could be in trouble, but we'll see.
I'll say this though, and this can kind of lead us to our next topic. State of the Sport address will be interesting for other issues. So this past week on Door Bumper Clear, Jordan Bianchi was on, and he pretty much concretely put the format side of it. We said we wouldn't talk about the format until something actually new came up. Well, something new came up. So I want to get ahead on that. He basically said we got 3 options. You get a full season championship, you get a 10 race chase style championship, or the 3-3-4 elimination. And that those are the 3 that are there. They're being talked about. Nothing has been decided. They're still having daily meetings about it in NASCAR, which tracks with what Steve O'Donnell has said and what others have said about it. They're still weighing pros and cons, looking at the public. Bianchi did say you want to root against Corey Heim and Connor Zillich this week if you want a full season points. I think that was a little tongue in cheek, but also kind of true at the same time. And then you had, that talk too then led, I think, yesterday to Kevin Harvick basically railing against the system that we have right now. So I think the big thing from this, there's 2 big things. And one that I didn't mention is, one, we pretty much have it out there. I trust Jordan Bianchi. He is one of the best reporters in NASCAR. He's not going to put this out there if it's not true or he doesn't have real sources to it. But 2, is kind of where I've been saying all along. I've been telling people, like, don't expect this in November. Don't expect this before Christmas. It's probably going to be like around the middle, but more than likely like the last week of January. I would, if I had a prediction date, I'll say this, of when it's announced, whatever they choose, and then we can go in and talk about this a little more. I would actually predict probably January 27th, a Tuesday. Like they like to announce things on Tuesdays, which is coincidentally the day before the season 9 premiere of NWP, which would be a lot of fun. But I think that's when it's going to be. And I do believe him when he says it's these three. What do you guys think?
I think they'll announce it January 13th. I think it'll be when everybody's back from the holiday break. They know what their messaging will be. I think that's when they'll announce it. So personally, if everyone in the world thought like me, I would like the 3-3-4 because I do like a version of playoffs. I think that larger sample size at the end. Think about it this way. Corey Haim would have a 60-point playoff point advantage and would have 4 races to defend his title. If he can't do it, he didn't perform in the clutch. We could make that whole case. At that point, like I think it's a more fair system, but still requires teams to step up and perform late in the year. I would go with that format, but I also understand that not everybody in the world thinks the exact same way I do. And I want what I think is best for the sport, will make it more appealing to broad audiences, gives me still things to talk about as someone who covers the sport every single day. I would be willing to see a version of a 10 race chase. I don't want the 2004 version where everyone resets to 0. I think there needs to be some bonus points for regular season success. It shouldn't be a straight up reset. And the reason I make that distinction is because O'Donnell and other folks in recent weeks have been like, yeah, playoff points are too confusing. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's true, but they're also necessary if you're going to have any sort of in-season reset. So of those 3 options, I would probably pick B, 10 race chase to some variant. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Danny?
I think they'll kind of like you, kind of middle of January, so we're going to hear something concrete on this. I feel like it'll give them time to put stuff together into like a nice, lots of graphics, videos explaining how's it all working and stuff like that. Personally, I do wish we would just go to full season championship, but there's also a chaos side of me that says, hey, we got 3 top series. Why don't we test all 3 and have each one, run all 3 options and, maybe the trucks try a full season championship. The O'Reilly series does a 10 race chase style, and then Cup does 3-3-4, and then whatever fans seem to like most, that's what we go with.
So I think
that won't happen, but I like that idea.
I would actually team chaos with that, kind of find that fun too. I feel like, and I said it the last time we talked about this, I feel like it's going to come down to 3-3-4 full season. I know 10 races on the table, but I feel like there's not been enough industry support or talk with it, enough driver support. Fans, yeah, they're kind of there, but it's sort of like the, okay, it's the middle ground. I still feel like we're going to be at a crossroad and they're going to have to choose kind of one way or the other. I think whatever they choose, you're going to have a short-term high. You're going to have that year or 2 where everyone's going to be like, it's not what we had before, baby. Hell yeah. And it's going to happen with any of them. Some kind of flaw is going to be shown and people are going to start complaining all over again.
That's true.
It's going to happen.
That's probably true.
I think 3-3-4 is the most, I think it's going to be if they choose that, it's going to have the shortest honeymoon period. I think they're going to be people there. It's going to be like 2014. Because these people that are like, I don't remember people were complaining about the chase. They did. I grew up in the chase era. Every time I went to a comment section, it was just people bitching about the chase, right? And when they did the current system, there were a lot of people against it, but there are a lot of people who are like, it's not what we had. All right, I'll take it. And that first year, and I think 2014, the racing being awesome really helped it too. People were like, yeah, that it actually kind of was fun. Yeah, what the hell? And then 2015 happened and everyone like the honeymoon period. I think the 10 race chase might have a year or 2 like that. I think the full season would probably have a year or 2 like that. And then we'd start getting into it, whether if it were a close championship. The thing with the full season, as much as I love it, is that first year we have a runaway. I'm interested to see how NASCAR and NASCAR media would respond. I'd be very interested to see, do they try to respark the debate? to like NASCAR would of course support whatever they choose, but like how would the discourse be with that? Because I think a lot of like, I saw Dale Jr. talking about it where he's like, people keep telling me like, well, somebody could run away with the championship, and well, wouldn't you not want that? It's like, we know what we're asking for. I I don't know what they're going to choose, honestly. Like, in my head, I think they're going to choose 3-3-4.
I think they're going to do
that's
a
what they're
version
gonna
of the
do.
10 race chase. I'll just say that. That's if I have no insight. Obviously, I have no intel.
No,
but my
neither do I.
gut feeling is that NASCAR, what have they done the last few years when it comes to new markets, new events? They've met you in the middle. They've said, all right, we'll do Chicago, but we're going to bring back North Wilkesboro. Okay. New,
Yeah.
old, great. So I have a feeling, I mean, all the Twitter polls suggest it's kind of sort of 50-50 in terms of how many fans, at least on social media, want a version of playoffs versus don't want any playoffs. It's pretty split, more split than some would lead you to believe. And I think NASCAR will look at that and say, okay, needs to be simpler, no eliminations. Maybe they handle playoff points or resets differently. 10 races, bring it back to the glory days of the mid 2000s, and let's hope Jimmy Johnson doesn't show up to win 5 in a row.
I have noticed a little bit of a shift. I know, like, I think it was Alfredo did one recently, had about 12,000 votes, and it was closer to like 60% full season versus any playoff. I know, like, I did one. So, like, I actually, in advance for this kind of conversation, put out a poll in January about, like, basically full season, 10 race chase, like any playoff. And it was about, I think mine was like 56% wanted no playoff, first 44 playoff. I was like, that surprised me, especially for my audience. I'm like, I thought it maybe I cultivated a little bit more. And I think I put one today and it was like 70% now, which I know I probably have a more biased one. I know if this was probably on either of your channels, it'd be closer to the middle, but I have noticed more of a shift with it too. I think that at this point, if they don't do 36, there's going to be a damn revolt of the people that are for it. And it's going to be crazy. Like the discourse about it. NASCAR has put themselves in that corner.
And they've done it because they bent over backwards and made rash decisions and dramatic, quick changes, not just formats, although they've changed the format God knows how many times in our lifetimes. But they've shown in the past that they are swayed by Twitter reactions. I think they officiate races sometimes differently. I mean, the way they officiated Daytona and then the next week Atlanta to start the year, that felt like that was social media reaction, that was a reaction to social media. And I it's the classic, you don't want the inmates running the asylum. Fans are great, but the word fan is short for fanatic. We're all a little crazy. You can't have crazy people running the sport and making these decisions. So I think NASCAR needs to, I can't believe I'm glad they haven't announced it yet. I think you need to wait, but I can't believe they're still hemming and hawing, putting feelers out there. Like how are you not able to make a decision back in June? Like, why is it taking this long? Either or you're not. Like, this just tells me whatever decision they do make, they're not confident, which I think is only going to, again, result in fans being louder. Fans still feel like they have a voice no matter what. Even if they change it for next year, fans are going to be like, it could change in 27. Like, let's keep yelling about it because they could change it every other year.
I'll push back a little on that because, I mean, look at the difference in the discourse since then. Like when we talked about this in February after the first meeting and we were talking about this subject, even I was saying like, there's no way full season points is even on there. I'm not even going to bother talking about it. And we didn't. And now it's one of the 3 finalists, and it's probably not last when it comes to most likely at this point. It might not be first, but I guarantee you it's not third because of how much of the different discourse there's been with it. And I honestly think the France family is surprised by the way that their fans have swayed, or the NASCAR fans. They're not fans of the France family, but NASCAR fans have swayed. And even in June, it was like, whatever. And then like Gluck said, and like Dale Jr. said, and it's like, there's been this huge sway and push. And if you're right, and they judge this off of Twitter, well, full season's leading that charge, definitely. And it's growing on there.
Which they might choose. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to think of an example of a decision that felt like it was made to appease Twitter and then it didn't last.
The restart rules back in the 2010s. The
restart rules. I was going to just say the way they've officiated, in the way they've officiated super speedways this year. It felt like it was, they were kind of reacting to Twitter, and I don't think fans like that very much. So that's my thing is they just need that. I have nothing else to add. Like I said, I have no issue with any of these formats. I think 10 race championship, if I'm thinking of like the health of the sport for the next 20 years, I think that's the best way to do it. A version of it, a simplified version of a 10 race chase style playoff, I think is the best way to do it. I think it's easy for the average fan to understand. It's a large enough sample size that storylines can develop over several months. And so the average fan can keep up. I think it prevents blowout champions that might bore the casual audience, might not, but might. I think you're not going to get a game 7 moment every year, but you might get a few more Stewart versus Edwards that got everyone buzzing and talking. So that's why I just think if I'm objectively looking at this and thinking what is best for the sport for the next 20 years, I think it's that. But we'll see. I have no idea what they'll decide. It
is the ultimate middle ground. We've swayed so far over the last 20 years that now the chase is the middle ground. To me, and I guess this probably doesn't help my argument. I would tolerate it. Like I wouldn't hate it. Like I hate the current system. I remember our first season finale where I was like just grumbling the whole damn time. And I think at one point I effing hate the playoffs. And I remember because Eric's reaction was like, I couldn't tell.
Best part of NWP is watching me going from someone who's open about it to now I'm with Jarrett.
But that's the sway the conversation's had in this way. I feel that I'll add something not format related necessarily in decision or like which one, but more just the fan side of it is. I feel like NASCAR's opened Pandora's box at this point. And it's going to be really hard with how many people have come forward with different opinions. I think it's going to be really hard for a lot of fans, especially to kind of put it back in the toothpaste back in the tube on the conversation. I feel we're going to have people bringing format stuff up more unless whatever is chosen. And I think this might be why they're taking so long. Maybe whatever is chosen needs to stick around, like I said, for like 10, 20 years. Like we can tweak little things if there's real problems. Like, for me, full season, I don't want the Latford system. The Latford system has too many problems. I'm fine with how they reward points now and just give more points to the winner. The winner should never score less points than anyone. Like, that's where I'm at with it. Make wins matter. Give them the most points, and drivers will race for it. But you got to stick with it. Like, I do not want to have this conversation in 2029 or 2030. Over
exactly. Again. Yep, 100%.
Well, all right. We got through the headlines and the debates and all of the non-fun stuff too with like NASCOURT. How about we go have some fun, guys? What do you think? Let's do some predictions.
Sounds good.
All righty. Well, predictions, of course. Each host will make 2 motorsports or show or NASCAR related predictions. We'll try and keep them pretty concise, and we'll keep track, for better or worse, in our accountability session. Danny got 1 of 5. Says at least 2 out of the 3 races, somebody below the cut line will advance. That did happen. 2, right on the dot. You said the Spring Phoenix winner would make the Final 4. Christopher Bell did not. I'm going to take this one off now because I saw the forecast for Phoenix. There will be exactly 7 cup races impacted by rain in 2025. There have been 6. There is a literal 0% chance of rain this weekend in
Wow,
Phoenix.
I missed that one by 1. What was I thinking?
Well, this season's been like historic since 1993. It's the first time there's been no race.
And
there's
literally
the next day.
Now that we're away from the East Coast is getting just rain everywhere.
But I mean, all 3 series, it's been an amazing stroke of weather luck this year for NASCAR, which is crazy. You said Joey Logano would make the championship 4. He did not.
Hey, I saved you all, chat. I saved you. I did it for you guys.
And I fat fingered it. Tire wear will be a noticeable issue at the cup race. I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't.
Eric, all in the red.
So brutal.
The Spring Phoenix winner will make the Final 4.
Oh, shoot. Danny and I made the same prediction. How did we let that happen?
I don't know.
That's funny.
I don't know. You said Christian Eckes would be the only full-time Kaulig Xfinity driver in 2026. There is no Kaulig Xfinity.
I thought they'd keep one car, maybe.
Said Kyle Busch would have a pit road penalty at Martinsville. I didn't see it. If so, we can edit this.
No, he did not. I was
You
watching
felt
for it.
very confident about that prediction too.
He'd been
He
on a
always
he'd been on a
does.
sh- he'd been on a streak. Not this
And
time though.
You said at least 2 Hendrick cars would lead laps at Martinsville. Only
Just
one did.
one.
Oh, what? That's
Yep.
crazy.
Only
Damn.
one.
Okay. Wow.
And I think I went like 2 for what? 7. Said Team Penske would not win the 2025 championship. I made this one I think back in July. So that was actually not a layup. And I said Corey Heim would at least tie Todd Bodine in truck wins. I think I made that when he was 2 or 3 away.
I think you did.
I said Martinsville Speedway would have a night race of some kind, whether it ended at night, whether it got delayed, whatever. It did not. It was actually a relatively concise race. Lane Riggs would make the final 4. He did not. Ryan Blaney would have 10 DNFs in 2025. I think he's at 8 right now. Either way, can't make it. Lane Riggs would win the truck championship. I was really on the Lane Riggs hype train, and I really crashed and burned. I said each of the final 4s would include a winner from this past weekend. Then Taylor Gray happened. So on the year, Danny's at 34.93, Eric at 34.41. I'm at 31.03, so pretty close. And then all time, I'm at 36.87 to Eric's 32.83 and Danny's 32.64. You guys are magnetically, just right near each other.
I think my overall has improved. I think it was in the 31 range. Now it's in the 32 range.
Yeah. Well, you get the first pick, or first prediction, I should say.
I'm taking a really bold one on this because contracts and money exist involving this one. But the Creator Series will be canceled before its 4th event is done.
Danny is not letting this go.
Danny's dunking on this freaking prime MJ.
This is his personal vendetta against the Creator Series.
That was a disaster.
Which one do I want to go with? I have a few. I will say, I'll throw this one out there. Why not? They may not both win it. God help us if they don't. But I think Corey Heim and Connor Zilich will lead the most laps in their respective races. That's a bold one on Zilich, I think. But
yeah, with how good Allgaier is at Phoenix.
Almirola too.
Yeah. I'll pull the trigger on it. I think Heim and or Zilich will not win their championship. The meltdown is going to happen. And it's just a matter of which one or both.
That's not a layup, but that feels 50-50. That feels like a high percentage. Because
they've won double-digit races in both series. They should be the favorites to win, regardless of how their history has been.
They should be, but you're saying that I get
one or both.
No,
it's not. They're not going to both win it.
No, it's fine.
Eric, remind me your prediction one more time.
That Heim and Zilich will lead the most laps in their races.
Okay. Yep. My second prediction is all 3 races this weekend will be won by the respective champions of those series.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't happen, but I think it will this time.
Actually, you said that not the lower series. One or the other doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You said this earlier, Danny, and I thought it was crazy because I'd actually written it down as one of my predictions. But I predict Justin Haley will win a super speedway race in the trucks next year.
He only has 3 chances?
I think so. Or, but how many Atlanta races? Do they only do one Atlanta?
Just one, I think, right? For
yeah, because they raced Lime Rock that week.
I couldn't remember if they did 2. So, yeah, he'll have 3 chances.
I'll say this. The Homestead finale in 2026 will be 5% or more higher than the Phoenix finale this weekend in ratings.
In TV ratings?
In TV ratings.
Okay. All right. Fun. I like it.
All right. Well, now you get to hide the chat.
Bye, chat.
It is time.
Bye.
See you in a few minutes
for Random Driver
of the Week.
Eric's done locked up the lead for the year, but I get a chance to make ground for next year.
I feel like the Rude Sandstorm should play the way Eric says that. So Eric leads 33-30 over Danny. So Danny can't get the lead this year, but he sure can set himself up good for next. He got Danny, that is Scott Wimmer last week. Eric has 3 of the last 5. He got Aaron Crocker, BJ McLeod, and Bob Flock. And then our guest Michael Marutz got Stacy Compton correct. So are you ready? Are you
Yes.
ready? Are you ready for some football? No. This random driver.
Yeah.
By the way, there's 18 clues, so you all have to be on it quick.
18 is a hint.
I already know who it is. I can't believe it, Jarrett. Really?
Who is it? Give me a guess. I'll get the buzzers ready.
No. Give me a clue.
No. Come on. We got it. This random driver is a junior. So like something junior. First name, last name, junior.
Sam Hornish Jr. First guess.
Sam Hornish Jr. is his first guess. And it is wrong.
I'd pulled that out of my ass. That would have been insane.
I've been wondering if we'd ever just have Sam Hornish, but
I just have like a string of like 10 straight where I'm like, this driver is a junior. And just see like which one of you guys guesses the right one. This random driver is currently also a commercial pilot and can pilot planes.
I know what that means.
Well, no, outside of just that.
you mean like he works for like an airline company?
Probably lower end.
Oh, okay.
By the way, this random driver is not known though for being a junior. So like you don't know them as like first name, last name, junior.
Ron Hornaday Jr.
Ron Hornaday. Incorrect.
See, since I've already locked up the season title, I'm just like trying to set like a new record. Like, whoa, he got it in how many? But now I gotta say
now you can't get the record now.
No,
because this random driver is a Pennsylvania native.
Okay.
Eric wasting his guesses.
That wasn't a waste. It was a calculated gamble.
You only have one more.
But I got nothing to play for. I'm playing for glory, and glory would have been getting it on that first try. If it had been Sam Hornish Jr., I might have walked off the stream. That might have been a walk-off home run right there.
This random driver actually lives in and around, depending which source you get, in Pittsburgh.
Do you see those hideous Steeler throwbacks last weekend?
Unfortunately.
With the like skin-colored pants. I don't like that.
This random driver finished top 10 in ARCA points 7 times. This random driver has also made 4 Cup Series starts. This random driver DNF'd every Cup Series start they ever made. This random driver's first Cup start was in 1989. Anything? You're itching to waste that last guess.
No. I'm sitting on my hands here. I ain't clicking no buzzers.
This random driver DNQ'd all 9 attempts they made to make the Daytona 500.
Gosh, that's 9 DNQs and 9 starts. That's crazy. I know there used to be a lot of cars that showed up, but still, that's crazy.
We're halfway through the clues. Get your pens and papers ready. It's time to give some numbers. You guys ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Memorize them. Ready.
Sure, Jan. This random driver ran the numbers 0, 6, 7, 8, 46, 48, 57, 63, 64, 79, 81, 84, 89, 93, and 99. Any guesses? Nothing yet?
It's
Would you like the OEMs?
It screams Starting Park. I will say that. Okay, what are the OEMs?
Definitely.
Chevrolet, Ford, Toyota, Pontiac, and Oldsmobile.
Toyota and Oldsmobile.
Yes.
They drove for a while.
Yes.
They've been around.
Yes. They have. This random driver has made 4 Cup starts, 3 Xfinity starts. I have to check. I believe 260 truck starts and 281 ARCA starts.
Oh.
Definitely lower level.
Yeah. I'll have to, real quick, let me double check the truck one. I think I put these stats down before, but I believe it's.
Does that mean they're still racing? Is it
Ooh,
261 truck starts?
Maybe.
That sounds big.
Maybe. Yeah, it's 260.
Okay.
Norm Benning.
Norm Benning. That's a good guess, Danny. Because it's correct.
Yes,
Norm
I knew
Benning.
it. You said he's still racing, and who is that old still racing?
I should have guessed because when Danny said, "Oh, he's in the lower series," that sounded kind of insulting, like a backhand compliment. And Jarrett, you literally went, "Yeah, I should have known. That should have been the telltale sign right there." That's crazy.
Norm Benning. I had like 5 more left. Career high is a 12th place finish at Talladega in trucks.
Wow. Good one. Good job, Danny. Is he a junior? I did not know that.
Yeah, Norm Benning Jr. I was looking it up on Wiki. I didn't realize he's been racing since 1967.
Wow.
Yeah.
They didn't even have heated seats back then.
Do you want how many times we tweeted about Norm Benning? Like the name Norm Benning?
Yeah, I would like to know that.
You guys never have tweeted his name, or at least when
Oh,
I did the advanced search, I did 4.
Oh,
Only
probably more than
4?
that.
Only 4 for an old 73-year-old man. But yeah, that was. I wanted to save that one for the last one of the year on my channel. Like I don't have too many special ones I save, but all righty. I think that means we can head on into the race weekend. Let's do it. So a few notes. Xfinity, it is their last race sponsoring the second tier series. They have paid for the entire final stage of their era to have no commercial breaks, including no side-by-side, just straight broadcast racing the whole time. So I think a pretty cool way to end the era. They're also bringing 10 former Xfinity Series champions on for the command. I'm assuming Dale Jr. will be one of them. Probably Stenhouse. Basically, any of the Cup guys that are around, they're going to be there that weekend, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Justin Bonsignore will be back in the 18 again to end the year as William Sawalich is recovering from the concussion he got at Talladega. So hope him a good recovery over the offseason. And we hope that Sam Mayer has a fun offseason because Ryan Sieg is going to be in his car this weekend in the 41 Haas Xfinity car. Kyle will be in the 39 and Nick Lights in the 28. Important note, and Eric, at least you'll see it, the final Truck Series practice of the year, which will be tomorrow night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, will not be televised. You'd think that they could just throw it on YouTube or something. Like, if it's not going to be televised, like, why not just put it on NASCAR's YouTube channel?
Yeah, that's fair.
The truck race will be the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship race, 150 laps. 45, 45, 60 is the stage breakdown. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time is the start, not 10 like a few years ago. FS1 and Fox Sports app have you covered visually, and then the NRN and Sirius XM NASCAR radio for radio. 89 degrees, partly cloudy, 0% chance of rain. Your defending winner, Ty Majeski. The NASCAR Xfinity Series Championship will be 200 laps. 45, 45, 110, 7:30 again for the start. CW has you covered, as well as MRN and Sirius XM. And same weather, 89 and clear. No rain in the forecast. Riley Herbst, your defending winner of that one. And the NASCAR Cup Series Championship, 312 laps, 60, 125, 127 is the stage breakdown. 3 p.m. Eastern time on Big NBC and the NBC Sports app. MRN and Sirius again with the radio. 89, sunny, 0% chance of rain. Your defending winner, is Joey Logano. And with that, the moment I've been dreading all stream, the pick points. Eric and I are tied.
Whoa!
Eric and I are
7
tied.
moment.
Whoa! Wait a second.
You have the most
We're
wins.
tied. Why am I first? Why are you not first? What? Because
You have the most wins. 14-12.
Oh, what? Okay, all right, shoot.
Chat's minus 19, Danny minus 25. All of us are mathematically still alive for the championship.
This is crazy. We're tied, and I'm gonna get the fourth pick. This is brutal. We should flip a coin, Jared. Can we
don't
trade?
want to
Can we
be
trade
the
off?
car leading on.
Hey,
the
we
last
had all
episode.
season
Right.
to get more points than the other. Plus, knowing my luck, you're going to be fine.
brutal.
My
This is
climb
gonna
has
be
been
fine.
strategic to get out of that 50 hole, and now here I am right where I want you guys.
Jared is fading fast. Yeah, I mean, you can win. It's unlikely, but you can win. All right, so that means we can head on over. Danny, who is going to win the Truck Series race this weekend, or just gonna be your championship pick? Who you got?
Well, I'm locked in to whoever I pick is winning the championship because of a prediction I made. Corey Heim.
Oriam. All right, chat's up. You guys have the quicker chat on your end, so you just let me know who they pick.
Chat.
They
Can't
can
have
stop
Heim,
saying
chat.
11.
Oh, I
But
think they're going with
pivoting
that.
to the 98.
Ty Majeski back to back. Okay.
Yeah,
All
they're
right.
going
okay.
Majeski.
Okay.
Well, I'll go for redemption here. I'm going to go Lane Riggs. I know I picked him last year for this race. He was the only one with the speed to actually compete with Majeski. I think he'll be up there.
I'll take Caden Honeycutt.
Caden Honeycutt.
You don't look like you feel good about that.
I don't, Danny. I do not feel very good about that. Did you hear the stats earlier about how damn good Corey Heim and Lane Riggs are compared to the rest of the field?
Well, maybe Xfinity would be different.
I was really hoping you weren't going to take Lane Riggs.
Who you got for the Xfinity race, Danny?
Oh, Mr. Florida Gator himself, Connor Zillish.
All right.
Chat, you're up.
Zillich.
They're going Allgaier early.
Shocking.
Yep, they're going Allgaier.
You know what? This race has been like a race where you can break through and break narratives even if you don't make it. I'll go Jesse Love on this one. I think he can be up there and do well.
I like that one.
I know. I'll leave you Almirola.
That is a solid pick, but I am happy to take Eric. All right, I got one of my number 3 picks, thankfully. Okay, I'll take Eric Almirola.
Yeah, I'll give you Almirola.
I had Love at 4, Almirola at 3, so I'll take that.
I'll give it to you. All right. With that, who's gonna suck in Cup?
The NASCAR Creator Series. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't pick them.
Jesus.
Danny, stop! They're already dead.
Chase Elliott, though.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
He's just like Bowman, his other teammate. They're not in the championship, so why would they give them anything other than tractor right now?
I think the chat's going Kyle Busch.
He's actually been kind of decent the last couple of weeks. Am I wrong?
Looks like there's the 8s though.
Yeah, they got him. They're good.
I'll go Daniel Suarez.
Ooh, I was thinking Daniel Suarez as well. I'll go Bowman.
All right.
Yeah, again, tractor engines for the bad too.
So who's a dark horse this week in Cup?
A toss up between two guys, but I'll just go with this one. Ross Chastain. That he might play spoiler in this one.
By the way, when I said dark horse, that does not mean that you have to pick every person outside of the final 4. There are some that are outside of it that are clearly favorites. Like I'm not giving them Ryan Blaney. He's not a dark horse.
You can if you want, because then they can't pick him to win.
I'm gonna be fair to them.
Okay.
So yeah, you can't pick Ryan Blaney. You probably can't pick Joey Logano. And there is no Queen of England. Sorry, the way I was saying it reminded me of that. I think it's 60.
My chat keeps freezing, but I think I'm seeing mostly Priest.
I think we're going to go Priest on this one. And I will go with Carson Hocevar.
Ooh. I like Josh Berry as a dark horse this week.
I think he is a good dark horse. Now, the moment of truth.
Oh,
Who
boy.
is going to win the cup race? Is it going to be the champion or is it going to be somebody else? Danny, you're up first.
Wow, wow, wow.
I have felt perfect about my first two picks.
Wow.
I have been so torn on this one, and I hope I make the right decision. And I'm going to first say what my heart feels, but then I'll tell you my actual pick.
Okay.
My heart wants Denny to finally do it, but my gut feeling tells me to pick Chase Briscoe because he will actually take it from his teammate.
It's a good pick.
Wow. All right. I did not expect Chase Briscoe to be the first
Neither did
Final
I.
Four driver off the board. That was a curveball.
This one just feels like his race.
All right. Let's check out.
Chad seems to be between maybe Hamlin and Byron. Looks like they might be going.
I would give them a poll. I don't think they were expecting me to take the 19.
I think it's leaning Byron, but I think there's a lot of Hamlins too. So it might be worth a quick poll.
Yeah, I'll pull them. So 11
I think
and
me taking the
24.
19 made them think real quick.
I think I mean
Some
we'll see.
fives
We'll
too,
see.
but it's mostly 24-11.
Not 23-11?
No.
Oh my. Okay. No, I was about to say like went from far away to really close and back and forth. Oh my God.
I just feel like me trusting my gut on Briscoe here could be the difference in me going right past you guys in this
Because
last
you need a
race.
sweep, and the chat basically needs a sweep. So
This is close. You might just have to cut it off here in a few seconds and see where it lands.
well, and if it lands at 50-50 and then someone's like, no, or whatever. No, it's because it's an odd number of votes. So we're gonna do it in 3, 2, 1.
24
And it
forward
is
a little bit.
24. William Byron.
Damn it.
Oh man.
That was going to be my pick. I really hoped he was going to fall to 4. Dang it.
All right. Well, I had 2 picks, 1 in, 1 out. I'll go Ryan Blaney.
Wow. See, as I am faced with quite the
Conundrum.
conundrum.
You know, you have an actual guy who's won a championship in his list still available.
You're going to make me pick between Denny and Larson? I could just go out and say Joey Logano, but that feels unwise. I
know how I've felt pretty much all of the second half of this year.
Honestly, I was very much torn between all 4 of the people in this championship 4, but Briscoe just stood out to me the most.
honestly, the data, because I've studied the data, would give Larson the edge over Hamlin. But what can I say? I'm a sucker for a Hollywood ending. Give me Denny Hamlin. That's my pick.
May the best one win. Both in the championship and between us.
All right. Wow.
Briscoe, I'm going to need you to have the race of your life because I feel good about my other 2.
Yeah, I think you can. I really do. All right. Well, let's do it. Last Super Chat stage break of the year on my channel. I think we left off with Ryan Idius on this the next one. I think because Mr. Penguin was the last one we did.
Let me
That
find
name,
it.
Ryan Idius, is always so hard to say. It sounds like I'm saying
Here
Ryan.
we are.
Minor oof, but both trucks and potentially Xfinity are going directly up against games 6 and 7 of the World Series. I mean, we are right now, and it's been one of our more fun streams.
He said game 6 and game 7 on purpose. I know his game. I know what they're doing there.
Radiate.cast says, secured my pre-sale tickets today for Homestead's finale. What races are y'all looking most forward to in 2026? Chicagoland and San Diego are mine. Well, Chicagoland's mine. It's far and away mine, for selfish reasons.
Probably those three: Chicago, San Diego, and Homestead finale.
Dude, Chicagoland could be one hell of a party that week.
Eric got close to his camera, so I'll just zoom in on mine.
Oh, I hit the camera, damn it.
He's wearing a hat.
Right. Yeah, that miscalculation. Roman numeral 3, I think, is the next one.
I've lost my place. There we go.
Love that Larson is a dirt and asphalt legend. Very much is. Blorp. B walked, so E could jog, and so 6-7 could run. I like that. I mean, it's evolution. Evergreen Mountain says Martinsville hot dogs are cool, but we all know NWP is a chicken supremacy podcast. What chicken place has the best sweet tea to you? I like Chick-fil-A's. I don't drink sweet tea, so I wouldn't know.
I am a sweet tea drinker, but I'll say Bojangles has a really good sweet tea. You can buy Bojangles sweet tea by the gallon, actually.
Yes, that's true.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not a sweet tea person either, so I can't speak to it.
Well, you can get Milo's tea at the store, and that's technically actually a chicken place. It's kind of based in Alabama region, but you can get their tea from the store.
Let's see. Jeffrey King says, look up Darth Vader revealing 6-7 to Luke after the stream.
No.
It's nothing with the 31-month member chat says, thanks for the at-work entertainment, y'all. Well, thank you. And thank you for being a member for so long. I appreciate
Thanks
it.
for the support.
Tyler says, oh, yeah, I made sure to remind you. I still remind you of it with my profile pic. I still have my Byron diecast signed by you at North Wilkesboro in 23, 24, and 25. That's right. He had me sign because I had said that he would.
Same car?
Well, he had said that he would. I had said he would miss the playoffs that year. And Tyler was the number one guy to keep reminding me how wrong I was. And so like tongue in cheek, he had me sign his Byron diecast. I'm like, sure, I'll admit I'm wrong and play along. That was one of the coolest at track one.
That was, I remember seeing that firsthand. And that was the year Byron not only made the playoffs, won 6 races, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, he was
one.
on fire that year. You win some, you lose some. That brother was on the same level of lobotomized starfish, but regardless, Ryan Sieg, Phoenix W train, let's go from Dern.
Using the chat for Ryan Sieg.
It's nothing. Says, you think we will ever see 3 or 4 drivers from the same team in the Final Four, especially in Cup? If we have a Final Four, maybe one day. We don't know. It could be a 10-race chase or full season points next year.
Haven't we seen 3 AGR drivers before?
Wasn't it 2019? Was Truex still in the 78?
No, he was 19.
No. So that was, I think that year,
yeah.
the 18, 19, and 11 were in it.
That year we did have 3.
Hunter Nixon says, Byron and Rudy Fugel remind me of Johnson and Knaus. They will get a win or 2 early, cool off in the summer, and then turn on the Jets at the end. It was the very end this year, but it worked. Weiss, Virginia says, it's going to be amazing to compare Heim and Honeycutt stats after Honeycutt wins the title this week. Did you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby? Gavin Adcock says, hopefully Larson can win championship number 2. But to be honest, it doesn't feel like his year. Got my fingers crossed, though. Could be
as good a chance as anyone.
Shorty Bubs says, tis #Penskover or Penske over. Hashtag anyone but Hamlin and Larson. Spencer with the 52-month member chat. Thank you.
Wow.
This was a fun 2025 season. We had fun. I think that one deserves the sounder. So I got to find the sounder.
This is fun. We're having fun.
Had a lot of fun this year, and I appreciate every moment of it. Robust convection.
We have literal weather in the chat.
I know everyone has something to say about the format change, but I came up with something. I call it the 55-5-5 format. I posted about it earlier in the community post. I'm curious what you guys make of it. I think I have a few hundred comments I'd have to cipher through to get there. So
I'll try to find it. Was it? I assume it was maybe in your most recent community post.
Yeah, I put the poll up as soon as.
What is it, like 50 races and then 5 and 5 and 5?
You can keep going. I'll try to find it.
Okay. Mel says, can we talk about the 35 getting outrun by the 66? I think he was having problems all day engine wise though, but yeah, it's
they executed order 66. That's what happened.
Jake says, I know how to fix the Truck Series broadcast. Amazon Prime should buy out all the races. Also, for my college course, we will be at Phoenix Raceway for the truck race with my broadcast class.
That's actually really cool.
That is really, really awesome. 505 Doom says, I swear if Corey Heim wins the championship but doesn't have a ride next year, that'll be some bullshit. Nice. Is that a croc or a gator? I think it's
Well,
a gator.
I've seen crazier things happen. We saw Brett Moffitt win a championship, and then things went kaput basically after that.
Robust Convection says we need full season points back for the legitimacy of the sport. While I like full season, the Latford system wouldn't work. Keep points for positions the same as current format, but give first place 50 points. Give 5 bonus points for leading a lap, leading the most laps, or leading the fastest, or having the fastest lap. Drop stages as well. If they want to keep stages, they should only have stages and no bonus points. Every points format should reward and balance 3 things: consistency, leading, and winning. I'd be okay with that, except I would be okay keeping stages. I like stage points and rewarding some points for full race consistency. But other than that, yeah, I like the idea of giving an extra boost to first. And I'd like to see most laps led be worth a couple bonus points at least.
Yeah, I think you could do. I think is it IndyCar that does like lap led gets 1, most laps get 2 bonus points. I think that'd be cool. Keep the fastest lap. I'd even be cool if like stages you just reward the top 5 and you didn't throw the caution. Like,
yeah, sure.
That way you're not ruining too much strategy. Carson here with, hey, NWP, Eric, have fun at Phoenix and good job on your Groovy Hollow event with all your crew. Danny, how was your church's trunk or treat? I helped at my church's trunk or treat, and it was cool.
Our church trunk or treat was very good. It did rain on Sunday, so we did get moved inside. It wasn't traditional trunk or treat, but everyone did love Claudia and I's trunk this year. I have a pinned tweet on my Twitter account of it was College Game Day, ESPN's College Game Day theme. So check out the little video we made of that.
Very well done.
Crash the Hedgehog says, ask Our Motorsports how it went with Wright. Yeah, about the Cope one, I think. Justin Drake says, imagine Denny wins a championship and NASCAR has to be there on stage for the celebration. And Denny goes, hand me my championship, bitch. I'll see you in court in December. Holy shit, you're fucked.
Oh, God.
Damn. I don't think he'll say that, but I think he'll have a smirk.
They would make it a little shorter than usual.
Josh, merry off season, Sam. You won't be missed. I mean, I like Sam.
Oh,
yeah, that's Sam Mayer haters here. He's about to join the Santa Claus naughty list club.
Carson says, Iceberg, what's wrong with NASCAR now suspending drivers, spinning guys out at short tracks post-race? 2001, Rusty Wallace spun Ricky Rudd at Bristol night race. Why didn't they suspend Wallace? I think it's a different era.
That's really it.
That was pretty much it. It wasn't the wild, wild west, as Denny put it back in 2015. And said, I so want NASCAR to lose badly into the 2311 lawsuit since their way too strict on punishments to drivers for me to keep following. It will be nice for them to get a taste of what they deserve. I think they're going to settle, honestly. Pat 02537 says, Kyle Larson literally said 6-7 on his team's radio coming to stage 2 at the end of Dega 2 weeks ago. And then Kyle Busch brought it up at Martinsville. Tyler says, I am convinced that I stand with 2311. Carson actually wants the sport to die. All the comments they've ever made this season is damning. If you want the sport to die, just say it.
And we point out Carson's been pretty spicy in our chat this year. That is fair.
Don't be afraid, either one of you, to keep saying what you think, though. Flying Cactus with the Dente ride on there says, what's your thoughts about a NASCAR dirt series and what kind of cars would be used?
Only if it's like part of like their regional level and they're just racing late models under the NASCAR name. That's the only way I would see that. I
want NASCAR to stay in their own lane, honestly. The rest of the dirt series out there have it covered better than probably NASCAR.
That's probably the right answer.
World of Outlaws, Lucas Oil. That is NASCAR of that.
Justin Drake says, love seeing Seabell run the orange 20 roof number, but unfortunately he wasn't as good as the best number 20 driver of all time, Tony Stewart. Cool scheme though with Fandy. Would like to see it more on the track next year. It reminded me of one of those like 2011 nationwide series schemes.
I never found out that did Fandy do any kind of activation before the race or anything?
Yeah.
They sponsored a couple episodes of my show.
Yeah.
I have a few Fandy shirts.
Never knew
off camera.
never knew if they did anything at the track or not.
Yeah. I don't think so.
West Virginia said, I think Stearns said that a settlement is still likely, and I always trust Stearns' word. I think it's pretty likely. And then also says 36 races would kick ass with this car's parity.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Jensen N says, as much as I would like an exciting full season that would end like the one in 1992, I do agree with Eric that a version of the 10 race chase is probably the best middle ground. It is the compromise pick. Whatever NASCAR goes with. Real quick, speaking of Jensen's, I was just announced about 3 hours ago, Jensen Button is retiring from racing.
Oh, what was he racing nowadays? Because obviously he did a couple NASCAR things.
I don't know. I just covered when he was in NASCAR. That was about it.
Yeah.
But
and he's been on like some of the broadcasts for F1, right? Hasn't he been on part of some of the Sky Sports stuff?
I think so, yeah.
So maybe he does that full time now. I don't know. I don't keep up. Oh, he's been in World Endurance Championship, I guess. Yeah, and Marco Andretti also announced his retirement today. I am more familiar with Marco's work.
Same. I think NWP Pick Monkey is next. Is he? Yeah. Monkey picks this week, even though I think they'll both lose the title. You have to pick Hyman Zilich, Cup Monkey, anyone but Hamlin. I'll go 24. Michigan Man 69. Nice. Says, why is Danny hating on Chase? Picking Chase to suck 2 times the last few weeks to suck. Come on, man.
I mean, he was in a hole going into Martinsville for a reason.
Damn.
The chat has long memories.
Blunt Danny tonight is fun. Like this end of the season. Blunt Danny
I'm
is
30.
fun.
I don't care anymore. I'm
a man. I'm 30.
I'm now the angry old boomer on the show.
Oh. Thomas says, what numbers do you think colleague will run? 10, 31, 16?
I haven't even thought about that.
Probably. They're using the 10 car, so I'm assuming, or truck, so I'm assuming they'll use a 10.
Well, yeah, the 16 is no longer a thing. Maybe is there a 61? Did anyone do that?
What about the 13? Is there a 13 in trucks? Does Thor Sport still run a 13?
Yeah, the Jake Garcia.
Oh shoot, I forgot about Jake Garcia. My bad, Jake.
Most people have this year.
He was a playoff driver this year. That's bad. I shouldn't have forgotten that.
Right.
They could do an invert on 10 and do 01.
That'd be pretty cool. I'd be down. I think 10, 31. I think is 16 open.
Yeah, Hattori's not racing it anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think.
And those 3 do 01, and then
001. And then how about this? 0001.
Oh,
01. 01.
Does anyone run to 8 anymore? That could be a good random one for them.
Nemechek was like one of the last guys to run it, right?
Wasn't that the family team though? Nemco?
Yeah.
They're not around.
I could see them taking the 8 if it's there.
Let's see. Crash Travels says, now that the season is almost done, we need to address the washed question. Is Calypso washed? On another note, what are your favorite and least favorite tracks to race on in NASCAR 25? I hope Calypso stays washed in the sense that we're talking and not in coming back with a vengeance next year. Favorite and least favorite tracks. I really don't like the road courses that much. Maybe that's just because I suck at it. But I think the most fun track for me has been Charlotte. Like the sense of speed at Charlotte in NASCAR 25 is really, really damn good. I like it a lot.
I'm waiting for the game to come out on PC, so I haven't played it yet.
Same.
Hunter Nixon says, since we're talking everything on NWP, Dr. Pepper is king and Mountain Dew and Pepsi are overrated. Since they changed the recipe for Mountain Dew in the early 2010s, I agree. I think it was better before. I will say this, pop, and it is pop, not soda. Pop is better out of an aluminum can than a plastic bottle.
I'll agree with you there.
Like Mountain Dew, if you drink Mountain Dew out of a plastic bottle, it's as disgusting as everyone says. It's tolerable if it's out of an aluminum can.
I don't think it's
it
that
gets
big a
colder
difference.
in the aluminum, in my opinion.
Well, then you don't get those microplastics seeping into it too.
I live off microplastics.
Our generation basically has Velcro blood.
Really, we shouldn't be drinking it, but we do anyways.
I drink energy drinks like a man.
Fun fact, where I live up here in North Texas, I drive by the Dr. Pepper headquarter building almost every day.
I will say, I do think Dr. Pepper.
So I got to watch where I stay here.
Dr. Pepper and Fanta to me are the top two.
Dr. Pepper's always been my goat.
Do you know how Fanta was made, like initially?
I don't know that I want to know. Is it anything like what was the beaver thing?
Think of I'll just say this. It was made in part because of 1930s and 40s Germany.
That was a trying time in Germany.
They had because of American embargoes and boycotts and stuff, they had banned Coca-Cola being sold. But the Coca-Cola company wanted to make a soft drink or a pop over there, so they made Fanta. So Fanta was made for Germany.
And when in Germany's history was this, Jarrett?
World War II.
Interesting.
The more you know. Snappy, it says full season format with cycling finale makes no sense. I think it'd actually be cool to have a rotating finale no matter what. Yeah. I don't care what format. If we're not going to stick it at Homestead every year, let's move it around. Blake says, thanks for another great season. Been following since 2018. What are your guys' favorite season of NWP?
The next one, because we're always trying to do better.
I don't think there is a favorite. It's just we love doing this every week.
Yeah, this one's been pretty fun. I mean, there's favorite moments for sure. Like, I'll tell you what, that Mark Martin interview, and then that was a high point. Talking to Steve Phelps. Honestly, though, you know what some of the most fun ones to do are, and it's like, and we are like trudging through it, is the post Daytona 500 qualifying ones when we're like starting at 9 and it's like, all right, we got to do it. We got to do it.
It's like our first taste of actual on track stuff at that point. So we're like just so excited for the new season to start. I agree. Those are fun ones.
It's palpable. The excitement.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's nothing. I think the next one says, I forgot about the format change in my previous question. Oops. Who do you all think will be the next back-to-back champion? Ooh, that's a good one, especially without knowing the format too, because we have our hunches, but we don't know. Ooh,
I'll go William Byron because I think he's the favorite this year, and he won the regular season title this season, so he's proven he can win he can be consistent for several months, and then he can also win in the clutch. So I would say Byron.
Okay, I can't say the same one, but I was thinking Byron. I will go Christopher Bell.
I also thought about Bell.
My hot take is that we have so much parity. We won't see a back-to-back champion for a while. It'll be someone like a Zillish or Hosebar or someone like that when they get a little bit of age on them and a better ride.
And maybe a new car too. Like that could change it up. Barrett says losing a settlement opportunity over $100 million in legal fees with $240 million in settled charters is funny. Glad to watch live finally. Let's go 24. Well, glad to have you, Barrett. And those are beautiful parrots.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, those are beautiful birds.
Rainbow colored, just like William Byron's Exalta car.
My wife would know better, but I believe those are macaws. I don't know which species though. It might be rainbow macaws. I'm not sure. Let me double check. Sorry, scarlet macaws. I think at least that's what they look like. You can let me know in the chat, and these guys will keep an eye for me. Robust Convection with the 10 says there's a better explanation of the 50-50 format under Berg's Winston format post from earlier today. Don't read all of it because it's too long. Thanks for another great
Whoops.
week and on to Phoenix.
I think I read all of it. Anyways,
still, it's worth going into.
Yeah, we liked it for the most part.
Justin Drake says, Danny, keep your Bowman bad juju away from my guy, Briscoe. Who do you guys want to see drive the two remaining colleague Ram trucks? And who do you each realistically see getting those two trucks? I mean, at this point, if it's a good enough ride, I want Corey Hyman anything at this point. But I know it's not going to be him because he's with Toyota.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I like Christian Eckes. I'd like to see Eckes in one of those.
Mm-hmm.
That's a realistic one. Let's do the Cletus McFarland one. Let's have some fun with this, man. Let's do it.
If they get Eckes in one and they have a team of Queen, Eckes, Dye, and Haley, like that's a legit team. If they want to have fun with that fifth truck and put Cletus in it for a while and put other guys, go for it. I would agree.
That's the PR truck.
Yeah, that's the fun truck.
Yeah. Yours truly, Chris, with the 50-month member chest, says appreciate this podcast every week. We appreciate you and everybody else. Thank you.
Going back to the colleague real quick, is Ty Dillon doing anything in Cup for sure next year? Could he drop the trucks? I
think they've said. I don't actually know if they've. I feel like I remember Chris Rice says a lot, and as we've now learned, he's not always the most trustworthy. I thought they had said Ty Dillon is expected to return, but that could always change.
I just don't know who they would put in Cup if they moved him down.
Palm Tree says, Jarrett, do you watch Unsubscribe / Fat Electrician? That's where I heard about the Fanta origin story. Sad the season's almost over. We're sad it's almost over, but trust me, we got plenty of stuff for next year. No, I don't. I've actually known that for a long time. Same with Volkswagen. There's an interesting side to that one too.
Well, that at least sounds German.
Volkswagen.
Especially when you say it like that.
Well, that's how you're supposed to say it. Jensen, currently the last one, says another great episode, guys. Congratulations, Eric, on Groovy Hollow 5. Looking forward to all 3 season finales this weekend. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Aloha. Well, aloha,
Jensen. Thank you. And we do have one more, Jarrett, to wrap up the night. Edible Giraffe says, who's the most handsome driver in NASCAR today?
I don't really think of that one. I
won't answer this for me, but I will say it seems like most ladies would say Ryan Blaney.
Probably Blaney, let's be honest.
I would have said maybe Chase Elliott in the running. I think he's pretty conventionally attractive.
He's a good looking dude.
Yeah. I don't know. Ryan Blaney, I guess beards are in, but the big beard, it makes it like harder to you can barely see his face under all that. So I don't know. Is that like his playoff beard? Is it going to be gone this weekend at Phoenix?
Maybe.
I guess we'll find out.
That's a chat's pick.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Good call. Good call. How could we
random driver of the week?
Yeah. All right. I think that is going to cover it. So join us next week. Season 8 finale is live 8 p.m. Eastern time over on Eric's channel. Going to be a lot of fun going over everything from Phoenix. Maybe by then the lawsuit might be over with. And any stuff that probably comes out, there's going to be at least 1 or 2 talking points from the state of the sport. There always are. So be sure to check it out. Have a ton of fun. I can't wait. Let's see. I mean, Ty Gibbs ain't a bad looking dude either. There's some good looking NASCAR drivers. I mean,
are we going to end the show with that line? Is that the line we're going to use to end the show?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But thank you guys so much. It's been an awesome year on this channel. Let's end it out strong on Eric's next week. Next week, we won't be going head to head with the World Series. So that should be a lot of fun. I'm sure you are, Marcus. I've never seen your face, but I'm sure you are.
That's the first time I think I've seen Marcus post anything that wasn't just Christopher Bell glazing. And of course it's this.
And from us 3 handsome gents to all of you handsome and beautiful people, have an amazing week, everybody. See you.
Drivers, start your
3, 2, 1.
green flag.
Started off right, pal.
Right on, come on. Get outside. 3 wide, 3 wide.
Unbelievable.
I like the aggression. Dude, let me drop the race car. You can go tell all those guys up there they can suck it.
What we're about to do is not a good idea.
All good. What is he doing? You gotta be kidding me.
Half the pack is flying apart.
You're so nice to see at the line.
Oh, pack of cars come piling in as well.
Come in the light. Here low. Come back bottom.
That was incredible.